Hello, hello, hello everybody, and welcome back to another dream today. Hello, hello. Here, let me turn this on. There we go. Come on in, come on in. Get excited, guys. We're playing Dark Nights today. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna read some visual novel stuff. But first, let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know who I am. Hi, my name is Princess Evillan, and I'm a streamer here on Twitch. And I'm a post almost everything I do here on the channel. It all ends up onto youtube.com/princessevillanvods. EVILLAN is how you spell Evelyn, in case you didn't know. But yeah, I have a lot of videos on the VOD channel, including the first parts to Dark Nights and other games that we're playing this week, including like Deponia, Homestuck, Pokemon Fusion, things like that. So if you're interested in watching things from the beginning, or if you want to see the first route that we did with Corrado, or if you want to catch up on the Junoru route, you can go ahead and check out the VOD channel and find all of it there. But yeah, we stream here on the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for video games, Fridays being visual novels, and Saturdays we play D&D every other Saturday. So there's nothing going on tomorrow, so next week we'll have D&D, so that'll be fun. I hope you guys will join us for that. And then on Wednesdays and Sundays we read Homestuck and play Pokemon Fusion with my lovely husband Gob Gob the Goblin. So yeah, there's something always going on pretty much every day of the week. So if you're interested in anything that's going on in the Twitch channel, go ahead and check out the schedule tab on the Twitch page, twitch.tv/princessevillan. Go to schedule and it will show you everything that we're doing this week, including if there's D&D or not, if a stream gets canceled, or what time streams are starting in your time zone, so you can never miss a stream. But if you do end up missing a stream, you can always go catch on the VOD channel in a few weeks. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome. Come on in, come on in. We're gonna get started here in a second. Let's switch over. Let's see. Alright, perfect. So, last time we played, Junoru's brother was killed by Chain, and we had the choice to ask Junoru to avenge his brother or to not avenge his brother. We chose to not avenge his brother, because we're going for the good route. So we're going to see what happens after this. So let's go ahead and load. We're in the Junoru route, the Hunter. I wake up with a huge headache. It seems I'll be staying inside today. I make breakfast and turn on the TV, flipping it to the news channel. She watches a lot of news. Another victim was found with strange bite marks on him this morning. He seems to have died sometime between 11 p.m. and... I nearly choke when I hear the announcement, staring at the screen in disbelief. There was another death? It couldn't have been Junoru's fault, right? He said there were other living dead here, so... In other news, the missing tourists from earlier this month were safely located last night. At least there's some good news today. I knew there weren't any forest demons. Ow, headache. I should check out on Ju, but the pain is killing me. Maybe if I take a nap, I'll feel better. The next day, my headache is gone. I wanted to visit Junoru earlier, but it was hard to get around. The nap did wonders for my headache. Just as I head out to visit Ju, however, I found a newspaper on my doormat. 3 victims found with bite marks in the alley. Will these murders ever stop? I stare at the words, confused. Wait, the number of murders is increasing? I push the worry to the back of my mind and begin walking. The more often I come here, the easier it is to find the hidden entrance. Hey, Junoru, are you home? I call out his name, but like last time, there's no reply. It seems I'll have to look for him again. At least there won't be, like, a naked brother running around, so it should be pretty easy to... Ducky ducky? It should be pretty easy to find Junoru. Let me turn that off. Oop. There we go. I began searching the rooms one by one. In the other wing of the house, I find an open door and peek inside. There, sitting on the floor, is Junoru. The scene is the exact same as the last time I was here, except Roya's body is gone. Has he been sitting here all day? I call his name, but Junoru does not look up or move an inch. I kneel beside him and place a hand on his shoulder, but he continues to gaze listlessly at the floor. Ju, are you alright? I don't think he's okay. Panic starts to well up inside me until he finally looks up at me. Oh, Miss Evillan. He whispers as if he barely has energy to talk. Don't tell me you sat here all day and night without moving an inch. Oh, no, I left to bury Roya. He hangs his head again. I gently push his shoulders back so I can look right into his eyes. Junoru, get a hold of yourself. I know you must be hurting right now, but please, right now you look so lifeless and it's scaring me. I simply do not know what to think anymore. I'm sure Roya doesn't want you to drown in sadness. I thought I killed him already. It's Chain. Freaking Chain. The sudden voice startles me. I quickly turn around and see Chain standing in the doorway. I nearly gasp when I notice he's carrying a large, freshly sharpened knife in his hand. I had a feeling something was wrong when I saw you come this way again. Chain nearly... Yeah, so I don't know why she didn't think that her going through the secret passage would lead him to Junoru again, because he already was after Junoru and already tried to kill him once. So her going back through the secret passage would just lead him to finding Junoru again. I'm not going to let you hurt Junoru again. I stand in front of Junoru and spread my arms out. Move aside. Chain's gaze hardens with anger. My legs start to go numb, but I will not move away from Junoru. Do you want to go down with him? I won't show mercy to those who side with monsters. He points his blade at me while still keeping an eye at Junoru. In response, I shout, what do we shout? Ju, run. Nope. Load. Kill me then. You'll have to kill me if you want to lay a finger on Junoru. I shoot Chain my most determined glare, trying to conceal my fear. If you want to die that badly. Chain raises his blade, aiming it at me. I hold my breath, terror nailing me to the floor. My body lurches backwards in the blink of an eye. It takes me a few seconds before I realize Junoru is between us, blocking me from Chain. Killing an unarmed girl? Despicable. Get out of my house. Heh, paying attention now, huh? Well, it doesn't make a difference. Junoru attaches Chain's arm as he makes another swing with his blade. I was willing to consider forgiving you despite what happened to Roya. Call it a misunderstanding. But attacking Evillan in cold blood, you were the scum of the earth. Junoru's hands tightens around Chain's arm before throwing his attacker backwards. You will not take someone precious from me ever again. Despite everything that is happening, Junoru's words fill me with warmth. Now's not the time. I couldn't care less. Let's finish this already. Chain lowers his knife this time, aiming for my friend's legs. Junoru kicks Chain's arm away with a sickening crunch. Without any weapon of his own, however, I worry he will not last long. I can't win like this. Junoru suddenly goes on the offensive, his fist connecting with Chain's arm so forcefully he drops the blade. His other arm strikes just as powerfully, smacking Chain to the ground. Chain barely seems affected, shifting back to his feet in the blink of an eye. His foot connects with Junoru's stomach, sending my friend backwards as he moves for his blade. He manages to slip into Junoru's blind spot and stab him, the floor turning red beneath him. I gasp like a seed. I search for anything I can use as a weapon. In the end, I grab the wooden chair from the corner and lunge towards Chain. What the hell? While Chain is caught off guard by my assault, Junoru pulls the knife out of his torso, tosses it away, and then grabs her close by the shoulder. What? Even with Junoru's grasp, Chain still manages to grab his gun and aims it straight at me. Did he shoot us? Oh my god. What? You're kidding me, right? He did not just shoot us. He did not just shoot us. I wince, closing my eyes as two gunshots echo through the room. The pain I expect never comes. I slowly open my eyes and find chained on his knees. Junoru stands behind him with a bone-chilling glare. I'm sorry. Those reflexes. I didn't think you'd be able to move so well in that condition. Getting killed by you was the last thing I expected, and you... His cold gaze pierces mine. I cannot help but feel I was the one who killed him. The red stain on Chain's shirt grows quickly, and he soon collapses. I see a gun dropping on the floor. It was aimed at Chain's direction. Did he turn the gun at the last moment? Junoru kneels beside the other man as he struggles to breathe, but it is not long before he goes silent and stops moving. Junoru, no! I can only watch as my friend removes the glove and closes the dead man's eyes. Oh, okay. Chain died, okay. That's fine. He died right in front of me. I can barely believe it. What just happened? I heard the gunshots and... When I realized what was about to happen, no, that is not important. Are you alright, Miss Evillan? Yeah, I'm alright. If you hadn't stopped him... I cannot bear to watch another precious person be taken away from me. I could not stand by and let Chain harm you. Why did it have to end this way? We could have worked together. Miss Evillan, I'm so sorry to have made this your burden as well. We must move forward as best as we can. The warmth of Junoru's gaze returns as he gives me a small smile. It relieves me to see that he's no longer the truly dead person I saw minutes ago. All of a sudden he begins to collapse, and I manage to catch him before he hits the ground. Ju? I believe I broke something. You scared me. Do we need to... Miss Evillan, I will be fine. My wounds will heal in a few days. You've lost a lot of blood, though. Better mine than yours. It is a minor concern for me. Are you sure? You look really pale. In a fairer world, I would have the strength to tend to you instead of leaning on you every time. It's okay, Ju. The important thing is that we're both alive. In the meantime, what should we do with Chain's body? It'll be a problem if anyone reports him missing. As far as I'm aware, he's not working with anyone. Burying him should take care of the problem. For now, may I ask your assistance in helping me to my room? I nod and lend him my shoulder. Where's your room? Once we reach Junoru's room, I help him into the bed. I must apologize for the trouble I've caused you the last few days, Miss Evillan. Oh, stop apologizing so much. I'm always happy to help you, Ju. You are quickly becoming a guilty pleasure of mine, Miss Evillan. No matter what happens, you always return with a smile. I'm tougher than I look. You're worth fighting for, Ju. Junoru blushes at my words, not knowing how to respond. By the way, I read that more murders were happening. Do you know what's going on? It sounds like the living dead are still in the village. Roya was the one who called them. With him gone, it is only right I should take his place, but I do not know how to pick up where he left off. He never told me about what he was doing because he assumed I did not have the stomach for it. Now I must piece it all together before the village is devoured. Thanks for the positive thoughts. Huh. Thankfully, that is only the worst case scenario. Miss Evillan, if you notice anything strange, please tell me about it as soon as you can. I may need your help to put an end to this. Ooh, that'd be handy. That'd be nice. Will do. But before you even think of fighting off the living dead, you need to take care of yourself. You really do look like you should be dead right now. Oh, is it that bad? I point at his torn clothes and wounds. I suppose I should do something about these clothes. That's not really what I meant. Junoru chuckles and covers up his wounded chest with the sheet. If you'd be so kind, could you get the first aid kit for me? Of course. The two of us end up talking until the sun begins to set. I make sure to head home before 9 p.m. The following days pass by slowly. It is boring without Junoru around, but I know I should not bother him too much. I hope he recovers soon from those past events. Chapter 3, Memories. The break has ended today, so I can finally see Leoji and Ikia again. Oh yay, Leoji and Ikia! As I walk to the classroom, I notice a huge crowd blocking the doorway. What's going on? They're acting like we have a celebrity guest. I feel someone poke my shoulder and turn to find myself face to face with Ikia. What? How long have you been standing there? Only a few seconds. I hope you had a nice holiday. Yeah, sort of. My time with Junoru flashes through my mind. I did have fun when I was with him, except for the time where I almost got shot. How was your trip with Leoji? Did you two have lots of fun without me? I throw my arm around her shoulder and tease her with a mischievous smile. She crosses her arm and blushes lightly, shaking her head heavily. Don't make it sound weird, dum-dum. I chuckle at Ikuya's honest reaction. Even though she has a crush on Ryoji, she's never told him how she feels. On the other hand, I do not know how he feels, but I suspect it's not mutual. Anyway, do you know what's going on here? Yeah, we're getting 2 new transfer students today. Is it, the twins? What? In the middle of the year? Weird, right? Well, we don't get new students very often, so everyone's excited about it. Come with me. Let's take a peek at the new people together. If we go outside, we can peep in through the windows. Ikuya grabs my hand, pulling me through the hallway and out the main doors. That's a really roundabout way of doing that. Hey, are you two trying to stalk the transfer students? That's not his voice. What was his voice? Hey, are you two trying to stalk the transfer students? I flip around at Ryoji's voice to be greeted by him raising a brow at us. Glad to see you again too, Ryoji. Do you know what time it is? Everyone's supposed to be heading to their classes. Like, you're one to talk. I just want a sneak peek. Unlike you, I won't get distracted on the way back. If you don't go back now, you'll be late. Okay, Mr. Class President. I mean, you do realize the transfers are part of our class, right? You can stare at them all you want once you're seated. That is true. You're such idiots. Ikuya pouts at him before turning away and walking ahead. Once Ikuya and I are inside the classroom, I immediately spot the new students. I cannot help but feel embarrassed that I went to so much trouble to get a good look at them. The boys stand out quite a bit, what with the bandages around their mouths and arms. They look a lot alike. Are they twins? Oh, it is the twins! As I walk past the new students, their eyes follow me and a shiver runs down my spine. They are staring at me almost hungrily, as if I'm nothing but prey to them. Once everyone is seated, the teacher asks the boys to introduce themselves in front of the classroom. It's Jace and Blace! My name is Jace, and this is Blace, my older brother. We're fraternal twins. Our parents recently passed away, and we transferred here to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city while we mourn. I hope we can all get along. The red-haired guy is Jace, and the other seems to be Blace. I stifle a giggle at their rhyming names. Blace is staring somewhere with bored eyes, as if he's uninterested in us. If you want to know anything about us, just ask. How old are you? We're both 20. What, you can tell? 20? A Phoebe bossed them when they're bandaged. We have a certain illness that doesn't allow us to expose our skin to sunlight. Should you really be coming to school then? Blace instantly glares at the student who asked the question. I don't think that's any of your business. His sharp tone silences the room and everyone stares at him in shock. Once the awkwardness settles down, the brothers return to their seats. Jace seems friendly enough, but his brother seems awfully moody. I hope they can make friends. As my train of thought ends, I notice Blace staring in my direction. I drop my pencil from the surprise and swiftly avert my eyes. For the rest of the day, I avoid looking in the boy's direction. For some reason, I get the feeling Blace is watching me. I breathe a sigh of relief when class finally ends. What's that guy's problem? Either way, I shouldn't let him intimidate me. While I pack my belongings, I notice that Blace and Jace are standing in the hallway. I silently pray they will not pay attention to me. Hey there. I jinx myself. Haha. I look around wondering if Jace is trying to talk to someone else, but I'm the only one around. Yeah, I was talking to you. I greet the brothers with a weak smile. Hi, is there something I can help you with? I know it's a selfish request, but can you show us around the school when you have time? I blink with feigned innocence, attempting to make him mask my hesitance. I'm screwed. Although I do not want to show them around, I do not want to give the new students a poor impression of the school either. Of course, besides, I'd love to get to know you two better. Great, do you have time right now? Between the mismatched combination of Jace's gentle voice and forceful gaze, I do not feel like I can reject him. Yeah, I have time, I guess. Ah, perfect. Jace appears quite pleased, but Blace is still wearing the same bored expression as before. He seems like the type who dislikes school. I guide the brothers around the building, showing them all the key areas, the classrooms, library, nurse's office, cafeteria, and more. By the way, I apologize for my brother's behavior. He's always like that, so don't mind him. Shut up, Jace. That reminds me, can I ask why you keep staring at me in class, Blace? The man turns to me with a raised eyebrow. Giving up, I wave my hand as if to say forget it. Oh, so my brother's taking an interest in someone, has he? What do you mean? You know, he is actually... Shut up, both of you. Damn. Blace alternates a death glare between his brother and me. I was joking, mostly. He doesn't usually like people, but well, if he does take a liking to you, you should be careful around him. What's that supposed to mean? Blace tugs his brother closer to himself and grunts. Don't take him seriously. Why should I take you seriously? Blace raises his chin and narrows his eyes, glaring at me. I can even hear him grinding his teeth beneath his bandages. I snorted his reaction. The stereotypical delinquent act is comical to me. When we finish the tour, Jace politely thanks me while, predictably, Blace says nothing. Why don't we make more plans, since we don't really know anyone else yet? The fact Blace has his back turned to me does not convince me that I'm wanted. Don't mind him. I'm sure he'd love to be friends with you. When Jace goes to give his brother a playful kick, he surprisingly manages to dodge it, even though it came from his blind spot. By the way, do you even know my name? Evillan, right? I see you checked the student register. Oh, well, actually, I knew... You talk too much. Let's go already. Blace grabs Jace by the arm and pulls him along, giving me one last chilling glare before disappearing. Those two are definitely up to no good. Well, Jace is friendly enough, but it could just be an act. I shouldn't let my guard down. Since I do not have any homework today, I decided to spend my extra free time with Junoru. Hey Jude, did you go to school today? No, I'm only going later tonight. Oh right, you told me you were taking the night classes, which reminds me, can I come with you? I realize going out so late is not safe. The teachers even had a few meetings to discuss the possibility of canceling night classes indefinitely. As I said before, however, the students attending night class are of a different caliber. Do you still want to go? I won't let myself be dead weight. If we need to fight, I'll help out. Even so, the living dead are my responsibility, and allowing me to protect you is part of the deal. Junoru gently takes my hand and smiles at me, the soft gold of his eyes boring straight into me. He knows I cannot argue with him whenever he acts like this. We talk until my stomach begins to rumble. Junoru insists on serving me dinner, so I stay for some Kenchinjuru and Takikomi Gohan. I don't know what that is. While I eat, Junoru shares some notes from his night classes. The subjects seem different and even more advanced than what I have seen the day classes study. You may stand out without an elite class uniform, but I do not think it will cause any problems. Okay, so he is part of the elite class. I guess I could try to find something formal at home. You look lovely, just like this, Miss Evillan. If you truly do end up liking night classes, however, I'm sure you could have a new uniform made. We talk a little while longer, and then I leave to prepare for the night class. I feel like a child, excited to go on their first trip to the amusement park, impatient to pass the time until Junoru arrives. I can't wait to finally meet those mysterious elite class students. Isn't Iki's brother an elite class student? There are no lights on in the school building, although the main doors are unlocked. With the shadows blanketing everything, this looks like an entirely different place. Are we just supposed to walk through here in the dark? Indeed, the director wants to save on the electricity bill, or so he says. Okay, if you say so. After you have walked through here a few times, you get used to it. Do you all have night vision? Is that your special ability? No, but that would be far more interesting. Rather, we have memorized the layout of the hallway. Junoru offers his arm to help me through the darkness as he guides me to the classroom. Once inside, however, I quickly become self-conscious and slip my hand away from him. No one has bothered to turn on the light, so I fumble through the darkness until my foot hits something and I fall down into someone's lap. Oh my god, why is it all dark? Get off! I instantly jump up when I realize the person I fell onto was Blace. Sorry, that was just an accident. Blace glares at me before mumbling something inaudible. What's he doing here? Oh, it's Rasumi from Kurato's route. Why is she here? Oh, I don't like this. There's a mystery with Rasumi and we don't know what it is. She's like an angel or something. I think she's a Shikigami of some kind. I feel a pat on my shoulder and then a girl with long black hair and crimson colored eyes steps in front of me. He joined our class tonight, so he's not used to this environment yet. His brother's a lot friendlier, though. Wait, Jace is here too? Don't compare us. Blace gives the girl an irritated glance, but she brushes him off. Anyway, are you also a transfer student? I didn't hear anything about a third. Oh, let me introduce myself first. My name is Rasmi. Nice to meet you. I'm Evillan. I'm actually only here to see what it's like, so I'm not an official student or anything. Rasmi and I chat until the teacher arrives. Luckily, there's an empty seat beside Junoru, which I decide to occupy. Rather, he sits alone in the corner, far away from the other students. I search the room for familiar faces, but the only other person I know is Blace. Why is he taking the night class too, anyway? I lean towards Junoru and whisper, hoping the teacher does not hear me. Do you know anything about that bandage guy over there? Junoru frowns and glances at Blace, but lowers his head and averts his eyes again within seconds. It feels like I have pried into a sensitive subject. That is Blace. I wait for my friend to continue, but he remains silent. What's so special about him that he joined the night class? I do not know. I do not think it is worth asking him either. I peek at Blace, who appears to be so bored one might think he is being forced to stay here. Knowing it will only cause a scene if I try to speak with him, I decide against it. For the next hour, we learn about medicinal herbs, a subject I've never even heard about in passing. I am glad that the teacher does not pay any mind to my presence, and even though I am a new face, does not ask me for an introduction. Whenever Junoru notices me struggling to follow the lecture, he passes me his notes and definitions to help me keep up. Before long, I decide to take a bathroom break and find myself in the dark hallway once more. I wonder if this is the only night class. I use the moonlight streaming through the windows as my guide. When I reach the stairs, I pause. There's no windows lining them, and I do not want to trip to my death. Are you gonna see a ghost? Something spooky? Something spooky! Suddenly, I hear what sounds like someone dragging a sack of potatoes from downstairs. I lean against the railing and strain my eyes, curious. Oh god. I meet the sight of bloody handprints grabbing at each step as the body lurches forward. Ugh. It feels like I've been dropped into the middle of a horror movie. I do not hesitate to turn back and dash towards the classroom. Please tell me that was just my imagination. Why does the school look so scary at night? Every time I believe I have located the class, the door only leads to an empty room. Without the lights, the hallway all appeared identical. I become desperate after the fifth wrong turn, and I end up at the stairs once more. I stop for a moment to catch my breath. Don't you go to this school? Don't you know the layout? To my fright, I notice the bloody hand, which is firmly attached to a body clad in dirty white clothes, is standing at the top of the steps. On top of it all, the figure's snow-white hair hides their face. I begin running once more, even though my lungs still ache. When I look back, I realize the ghost-like figure is chasing after me. It's moving like a marionette. What the heck? Before I can scream for help, I bump into Junoru. Ah, here you are. What is wrong, Miss Evillan? Someone's chasing me. By the time I turn around, I realize the figure has disappeared. Junoru rests a hand on my shoulder, wearing a concerned expression. There was a person whose hands were covered in blood, and they were pale like a ghost. I'm with you now, so there's no need to be scared. My friend wraps his arms around me and pats my back. I'm so relieved he showed up in time. Sorry for worrying you. I was trying to find the bathroom, but I got lost. Ah, my apologies. I should have led you there. Of course you're not used to walking around in the darkness. Follow me. I will show you there now. Junoru takes my hand. With him by my side, I no longer feel afraid. Here we are. I'll wait outside, of course. I enter the washroom and rush into a stall, not even bothering to look for a light switch. By the time I am finished washing my hands, the shuffling sounds from before I returned and seemed to be coming from nearby. Ugh. I turn around and notice a bloody hand reaching over the top of one of the stalls. My legs freeze and a blood-curdling scream slips out of my mouth. Within a second, Junoru stormed into the washroom with a worried expression. Miss Evillan, what happened? Are you alright? I slowly managed to point at the stall, but the mysterious hand has already disappeared. That person with the bloody hands wasn't there. Junoru firmly knocks on the door. Is anyone there? Although there's no reply, a dark red liquid begins to stream out from the gap between the door and the floor. My friend cautiously pulls the stall open, but there's nobody inside. I wasn't just imagining it. How odd. I've never heard of anything like this happening here before. Could it be that those subjects... Junoru bites his bottom lip, almost looking frightened, before leading me back to the classroom. Are you okay, Ju? Well, there's no need to be concerned for me. Don't tell me you get queasy when you look at blood. Or maybe you're scared of ghosts? Oh, that would be crazy if he got queasy from blood, considering how many times he's been stabbed. No. Are you sure? You looked a bit pale earlier. I'm always pale, Miss Evillan. That's true, he's dead. In any case, I hope you're feeling fine. That must have been quite the shock. That was nothing. The idea of ghosts does creep me out, since you can't do anything to make them go away, but I'm all good. On the contrary, if you help lay their unfinished business to rest, they will ascend. Speaking of which, I believe there's a rumor about a ghost residing within the school. He supposedly only appears at night at random times, but he should be harmless. What we saw might have very well been him, although I earnestly believed he was a tall tale created by students up to this point. Back in class, it's time for a break. While the teacher has left, all the students remain within the room, entertaining themselves by socializing. Except Junoru, who, aside from me, is sitting alone. It is a surprise, considering he is such a kind person. On the other side of the room, in another corner, Blace also looks quite lonely. Although I want to chat with Junoru, Rasmi approaches him before I can speak. I glance over at Blace and decide to talk to him instead. Hi Blace, mind if I sit here? Without so much as a glance, I'm simply ignored. I will make my hand in front of the man's eyes until he seems annoyed. That would be annoying. What's your problem? I just wanted to talk to you. Is that really so bad? Yes, get lost. His cold words pierce through my chest like icicles. Nobody has ever outright rejected me like this, and it hurts. Now you know how that guy felt from the beginning when you punched him earlier. For trying to go out with you. Now you know how it feels to be rejected. Before I can reprimand Blace, Rasmi steps beside me, an enthusiastic smile on her face. Ace, you aren't supposed to make girls cry. Besides, she's new here. You need to play nice. I wasn't crying, actually, but... Blace swiftly turns around on his seat, trying to ignore us, but Rasmi takes it as a challenge. She grabs 2 nearby chairs and plops them down next to the man's desk before forcing me to occupy one. Huh? Now, let's have a nice conversation. Blace crosses his arms and glares at us. I'm beginning to find myself concerned that we are overstepping our boundaries. Meanwhile, Rasmi is beaming innocently. You know, Ace is actually really nice. He's what you call a tsundere. Stop giving me nicknames. You barely know me, and I'm sure as hell not nice. See? What he really means is the opposite. Give me more funny nicknames, since we're such good friends, please. The man visibly deflates, and I cannot help but laugh at the spectacle. By the way, are you and your brother going to the ball? The ball! Blaze scratches his head for a moment, but then nods. Whoa, the school is hosting a ball? I'm sure my eyes are sparkling from the excitement. I've never attended such a fancy-sounding event before. It seems like the night classes have more fun than regular students. Anyone is welcome to come as long as they have a date. Will you go with me then? Well, I already have someone in mind. Sorry, Evillan. Aww. Well, do you have any people you can ask instead? You do want to go, right? I shake my head, my cheeks starting to flush, and tried to deflect the question onto Rasmi and Blace. I'm thinking about forcing Jace to wear a dress. That'd be hilarious. His expression is so dry and his words so out of character that I have to muster all my willpower to keep from laughing hysterically. I want to see that for real now. Me too. That'd be hilarious. Huh, that'd be priceless. So, who's the person on your mind, Rasmi? Junoru. Oh, well, that was who I was gonna go with, but okay. I'm happy for a second, but then something tightens on my chest. Yeah, right? Oh, that's great. Good for you. Huh? I was so lucky to be the first one to ask. Anyway, if neither you nor Blace have anyone to go with, why not partner up? My partner and I awkwardly turn to each other. The dark aura surrounding him says it all. Maybe another girl would be a better fit for him. Shh, I'd rather go alone than with anyone here. Did you hear that? He said he would love to have company. Don't twist my words, you demonic woman. Oh, I know that's your way of being affectionate, but can you please pick a cuter nickname for me? Blace sighs and rests his head on his arm. Although he did not seem like someone who would go to parties, it truly does sound like he wants to go to the ball. We're in the same depressing boat. Blace, noticing my gloomy expression, mumbles at a volume I can barely hear. Whatever, tell me your address and I'll be there at 7. Make sure you're ready by then. Blace is gonna take us to the ball! The unexpected words cheer me up. I beam at my date, but he only returns with a glare. This is only for the sake of convenience. Don't overthink it. Once the break ends, we begin a lesson on physics. Although it is interesting, I have a difficult time following along. Class finally ends just past 3 a.m. In the back of my mind, I'm worrying about whether or not I'll be able to wake up in time for my regular school hours. I try to stay awake, but a yawn escapes me. As if reading my mind, Junoru approaches me. I will inform the administration for you, so it'll be alright if you wish to skip class in the morning. Really? But I'm only a normal student. That is true, but I'm sure they'll make an exception when I explain the situation. I let out a relief sigh. Finally, Junoru and I start walking home together. What do you think about the elite class, Miss Evillan? Did you have fun? It was way more fun than I expected. The regular classes are nothing in comparison. I am pleased to hear that. If you'd ever like to come again, I would be happy to bring you. I'll definitely think about it. By the way, what are the requirements for officially joining the night class? There are no requirements in particular. The purpose of the class is simply to offer a more comfortable environment for those who might stick out otherwise, or who cannot make the time to go to school during the day. I, for example, would not feel comfortable around the day class students. I'm sure they would notice my injuries. Oh, it may be overdue, but I apologize for not speaking with you during the last break. That's my line. You were the one sitting all by yourself, and I wandered off. Junoru uncomfortably scratches at his scalp, slightly averting his gaze. I'm sure you noticed that people are trying to avoid me. I did. What is that, though? You're so nice. I feel like I should be honest about this with you, Miss Evillan. The class believes I'm the son of a mafia boss. They stay away from me because they fear they will be harassed or murdered. Oh my god. That's a good joke. Unfortunately, it's not a joke. Really? They think you're a mafia boss, child? For what it is worth, they are all kind to me. Overly so, in fact. They are simply afraid for their lives. Why don't you tell them it isn't true? Well, in a way it is true. The living dead tend to follow me, so it's almost as if I have my own gang. As a result, people I spend non-negligible quantities of time around tend to attract them as well. Several of my classmates have become targets of those monsters as a result. I'm so sorry to hear that. It must be lonely having to distance yourself from everyone like that. In the past, perhaps, but your presence has relieved that, Miss Evillan. I must admit, I regret involving you in this mess, however. I don't think there's anything that can make me want to stop being your friend. I beam at Junoru. He remains speechless, but with a sparkle in his eyes. We suddenly walk side by side for a while until Junoru speaks up. The school is hosting a ball tomorrow at midnight. Miss Evillan, would you be interested in going with me? You don't already have plans to go with someone else? I do not. I had not planned on going at all, but I overheard you talking about it earlier and it changed my mind. I think you will enjoy it. He sure doesn't seem like he's lying, but that means Rasumi never asked him. On the other hand, there might be some sort of misunderstanding between them. I already said I'd go with Blace, but I don't want to reject you either. Should I tell the truth? We're gonna go. Nope. Load. Tell him the truth. I'm sorry. I already agreed to go with Blace. I purse my lips and do my best to avoid making eye contact with Junoru. To my surprise, the man smiles gently. I am glad you are honest. This may be blunt, but he cannot be trusted. He's not one to keep his promises. Did something happen between you? He is not kind to anyone, not even his own brother. Quite frankly, I would be uneasy knowing he went out at night with someone so unreliable. Of course, the decision is yours to make. I'm merely sharing my thoughts on the matter. I give a meek nod, deciding not to comment further. This is the first time I've heard Junoru talk about someone so negatively, and it's jarring. I wonder what happened between you and Blace. Yeah, didn't he just get here? How does he already have such a strong opinion of him? I apologize. I did not intend for things to come off so harshly or to make it sound like I was jealous. No, it's fine. You're only worried about me. That said, I'd like to get to know Blace better before I come to any judgments about what kind of person he is. But I do want to go to the ball with you, so I'll tell him I changed my mind. Junoru gives a slight gasp, peering at me with wide eyes. A moment later, his surprised gape turns into a delighted smile. I will arrive at your house around 7 p.m. Do not leave without me. I give a cheerful nod before the two of us part ways. I only managed to wake up at 11 a.m. I was so tired that I even slept through my normal alarm. After devouring breakfast, I consider my plans for the rest of the day. Oh, right, I don't have a dress for the ball yet. Actually, what is the dress code for it? I decided to spend a few minutes perusing my mother's closet before jumping straight into a new purchase. Luckily, I find a cute frilly dress with a nice shade of midnight blue. I cannot remember ever seeing Mom wear it, but with her overall simple style of clothing, I'm surprised she even owns something like this. I tried the dress on and look in the mirror. Surprisingly, it fits me well. Hopefully, this is fancy enough for a ball. I still need suitable footwear, and I also need to do my hair. I spend the rest of the day searching for matching accessories and browsing fashion magazines. This is the first time I've ever been so excited about a party, so I want to look my best. It'll be so fun going to the ball with Ju. And Blace? I said I'd go with both of them, didn't I? Oh my. My imagination runs wild with visions of what might happen if Blace still comes over like he had planned. I know Junoru doesn't like Blace, but I'm not sure about the opposite. If he had his phone number, I could call and cancel, but I push my worries aside and continue my fresh preparations. She's not even gonna tell Blace that she's going with Junoru? Once I'm pleased with my presentation, I wait in front of my house, giddy with both excitement and nervousness. A few minutes later, a small coach comes down the road, with Junoru sitting in front and center, reins in hand. As if the show is not baffling enough already, the coach is not being pulled by a horse like one might assume, but two deer. I have no words. What in the world is going on? What is going on? He looks amazing! I love that costume change! The driver steps off his vehicle and gives me a deep bow. May I offer the fair lady a ride to the ball? I reply with a grin so large it hurts my jaw. This was already so cheesy, and his line is only making it worse. Taking a closer look at the gorgeous, elaborate suit he's wearing, it feels as if I'm part of a fairy tale. This man is surely my prince, here to whisk me away in his carriage. I apologize for the silly display, but I couldn't rent any horses on such short notice. Not at all. It's unique and strangely fashionable. And anyway, I thought we were going to walk to school, so this is a pleasant surprise. I'm glad to hear that, Miss Evillan. Please, allow me to help you up. He reaches out his hand for me to steady myself as I climb into the front seat. I'm halfway up by the time I hear footsteps approaching us, a certain ring of loneliness to them. I feel my stomach drop, but I gather the courage to turn my head. In the distance, I see Blace dressed in a clean suit with dark but fancy coat over it. Junoru soon follows my gaze. May I ask what you're doing here, Blace? That's my question. The men stare at each other in deafening silence, heat rising to my cheeks as I spectate. Even so, I know I need to step in. Why don't we go as a group of 3, since we're all here, and... Blace and Junoru simultaneously glance at me, and I expect the worst. Yeah, it's a bad idea. But for some reason, Junoru agrees to the proposal almost instantly. Blace initially refuses, but we persuade him to join us in the coach by pointing out he might find someone else without a partner at the school's entrance. Junoru goes back to the driver's seat while Blace and I step inside the carriage. I tried to diffuse the awkward atmosphere by starting a conversation. I'm glad you showed up after all, Blace. Great. I'm sorry, I, didn't mean for things to... It's okay. He stares out the window, seemingly unaffected by my excuses. I cannot even begin to guess what's on his mind. Do you dislike me? Why would I? Even before this, it kind of seemed that way. I apologize if I'm wrong, though. I just have a neutral view of you. Dislike is a strong word. I'm not obligated to like everyone by default. I understand his point, but it wouldn't hurt him to throw out a bit of kindness, even if it's a fake. As soon as we arrive, Blace jumps out of the carriage and heads straight towards the school building. Junoru, on the other hand, treats me like a princess. He takes my hand and leads me to the entrance, where a few volunteers are taking attendance. It takes a bit of convincing, but the volunteers eventually allow Blace to come in with us as an exception. While Junoru and I head to the makeshift ballroom, our bandage friend wordlessly goes off in a different direction. Even though I'm a bit disappointed, I'm glad that Junoru, at least, is still by my side. The two of us enter a large room that is decorated with antique furniture from end to end, soft lighting accentuating the scene. Some girls are wearing grand, elegant dresses with layers upon layers of frills and lace, while others are clad in long gowns of shimmering silk. Even all the boys have made a point to dress in suits. The space is filled with far more people than I saw at the night class. In fact, although the crowd is large enough to match the school's entire student body, I did not recognize a single face. That's really weird considering we've been here our entire life. And we've grown up with these people. That's really weird that we don't recognize anybody. Within seconds, dozens of boys asked me to dance with them. As much as I want to stay by Junoru's side, however, I know it would be rude to decline all their offers. I would hate to deprive such a stunning lady of the opportunity to enjoy herself. Do not worry about me, Miss Evillan. Dance with whoever you wish. The night is still young. My date's flattering words warm my chest. I get the feeling they would not be so impactful if anyone else had spoken them. I humor a few dance partners before I need to take a break. Walking through the crowd of unfamiliar faces, I cannot help but feel uneasy. Thankfully, I soon noticed Jace standing against the wall, watching the other attendees enjoy themselves. He is wearing an outfit similar to Blace's, but with a lighter color scheme. I beam and give him a swift wave before heading over. Ah, I didn't expect to see you here. Are you having fun? Huh, yeah. What about you? Shouldn't you be dancing with your partner? Jace chuckles at my question before shaking his head. Nope, I actually snuck in alone, but don't tell anyone, okay? Dancing isn't my cup of tea. I prefer to watch others do all the hard work. As I leaned beside him against the wall, he asked where my date is. Well, I came here with Junoru, but I got sidetracked and lost track of him. Anyway, why'd you come to the party if you knew you wouldn't have fun at it? I never said I came here for my own enjoyment, did I? Why then? To watch others have fun. Right, that sounds very credible. Jace laughs and turns to me. You're more perceptive than you appear, Evillan. More like it was obvious. Nobody would enjoy standing alone in a corner all night while everyone else enjoyed themselves. You never know. So you came here with Juju, right? Juju? Why are you calling him Juju like that? Junoru? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm used to calling him Juju. We were good friends a long time ago, so... Were? It's all in the past. He's nothing like he used to be. What do you mean? Don't tell me you don't like him either. Either? You mean my brother? Well, Blace doesn't like anyone. Haha. I pictured Junoru's gentle, innocent smile in my mind. I cannot imagine how anyone could ever dislike him. Although he is quiet and reserved at first, once you get to know him, he becomes warm and sweet. You used to be friends with Ju, huh? Could you tell me about your past? I give Jace puppy dog eyes, but he only pinches my cheeks, doing his best to hold in his laughter at the sight of my distorted face. Ow, I don't like this, Jace. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You look funny in a cute way. Anyway, let's go somewhere quieter where nobody will hear us. I want to point out that no one can hear us where we are, but the bandage man walks on ahead. We stop at a small balcony that oversees the entire schoolyard. Jace sits on the railing and gestures for me to come closer. So, why do you want to hear about my past with Juju? Just out of curiosity. His red eyes meet mine, and for a second I think they glow, but then he bows his head, causing his bangs to cover them. I'm not sure I should tell you any of this, but whatever. This brings back so many memories. Where should I start? Jace scratches his head and peers up at the starry sky before telling me a story. Blace and I first met Junoru at his mansion. I'm sure the ball bounced this way. Come here, bro. The two little boys crawled their way through the brush and found themselves in an unfamiliar garden. I don't think we should be here. Right when Blace went to pull his brother closer, another child walked over to the ball they had lost. Hi, are you looking for this? Little Junoru smiled innocently as he handed over the toy. Whoa, are you the son of the rich people who live here? We're not rich, it's just a big house. Jace stared at Junoru in awe before taking the boy's hand between his own with an excited expression. Want to come play with us? You idiot, we shouldn't... I'm not allowed to wander off. My parents will get worried. Not even for a tiny, tiny bit? Well, okay, if it is only for a short while. The three children snuck off to the nearby playground. By the way, what's your name, rich kid? You can call me Junoru, or Ju for short. I'm not rich, but mommy and daddy are. I'm Jace, and this is my brother, Blace. Why does he look so angry? Does he dislike me? No, his face always looks like that. I'm not angry, bunhead. Blace averts his gaze and crosses his arms. Bunhead. Ignore my stupid brother. Let's be friends, Jew. Junoru hesitated for a moment, but then smiled weakly. I've never played games with anyone my own age before. I'd be glad to become friends with you. The boy bowed politely, but Jace took the opportunity to headbutt him. Junoru rubs his head, frowning in surprise. Don't be formal with your friends, okay? We're equals. Ow, you sure are strong, Jace. Jace pulled Blace closer to himself before forcing his brother to shake hands with Junoru. Now you're both friends too. Whatever. Blace slowly shook the other boy's hands while half turned away. In the following days, the twins often went to play with Junoru. They had fun, and their friendship grew stronger. Why do you two always wear bandages? Well, it looks ugly if we don't. Aw, I want to see. I don't think you two are ugly. Blace shook his head and waved his hand. Everyone has their secrets. I'm sure you do too, Bunhead. But if I tell you my secret, it will not be a secret anymore, will it? Both twins nodded their heads. Junoru still did not know why, but he decided to copy them. Their friendship remained unchanged despite both parties knowingly hiding things from one another. One day, little Blace visited the mansion without bringing his brother. Jace couldn't come today because he has a fever. Oh, I hope he gets better soon. Shall we play together instead? Their usual games were less fun with only the two of them. The boys leaned against a tree, tired of playing, when all of a sudden Junoru's expression grew serious. Hey Blace, if there's a family everyone hates, does that mean they're bad people? Only if that family did bad things. If they have not, does that mean the people who hate them are bad instead? Blace scratched his head before finally shrugging. I don't know. Why? Oh, it was just a random question. He's talking about the Kenriji family. After a moment, Junoru invited his friends to his home. Blace had never been to a mansion before. He was so excited. Wow, this place looks awesome. I hope I can live in a place like this someday too. Oh, since when have you ever brought a classmate home, Juju? Oh, it's Roya. An unfamiliar voice stepped out of the shadows and examined the guest. Do not give me weird nicknames, Roya. This is Blace, and he's my friend, not a classmate. You aren't allowed to hang around with those delinquents. Blace began to raise his fist at Roya, but Junoru stopped him in time. Oh, and he's violent. Do you even know who I am? Juju, you shouldn't hang around with someone like him. Status doesn't matter. Everyone is equal. Watch your mouth, you. Stop it. Let's go play somewhere else, Blace. The boy pulled his friend away by the sleeve, and the two of them headed into the garden. I'm sorry about my brother. He's going to be the next head of the family, so he's a little spoiled. I'm sorry too. I don't like bossy people, but I shouldn't have tried to start a fight. The sadness shimmered in the child's eyes as his head drooped. I think we're too different, June. What do you mean? I don't want to cause any more trouble for you. I don't think we should keep playing together. Junoru seemed like he was going to cry, so in response, Blace ripped off a piece of his bandages and handed it to him. This is proof we'll always be friends, no matter what happens. Aww, that's sweet. With that, the boy ran off towards his home to tell his twin what had happened. We won't stay together for long. Besides, it's our job to guard the gates of heaven and hell. We shouldn't emotionally tie ourselves to others. I hate this job then. He was our first friend. The two boys eventually grew into young men, although their bodies never aged past that point. 100 years passed and the twins never saw Junoru again. They assumed he had long since passed away. They carried out their jobs without fail until one strange night. So they guard the gates of heaven and hell? Interesting. Ugh, who's our target this time, and why do I have to come along? Stop whining and hurry up. As they walked down the dark street, they heard noises coming from an alleyway. A moment later, a man slowly stumbled out, clearly injured as a trail of blood followed behind him. When the twins approached him, they realized he looked familiar. The man, barely able to stand, peered at them through his golden eyes. The nostalgia instantly caused Blace and Jace to recall memories from a distant time. Jace's lips, as if on their own, called out Junoru. In reply, the man surprisingly raised his eyebrows. Blace? And Jace? Oh wow, you look a lot younger than I would have expected, Kenriji. I could say the same about you. Jace began to lead Junoru's shoulder, but Blace pulled his brother back. Don't help him, he's our target.
You're kidding, right, bro? We've seen him move with our own eyes. How can he be dead?
What are you two talking about? Junoru grabbed his chest and coughed up blood. Even though he was in pain, Blace showed not an ounce of pity. We only have to kill the living dead. You must have mistaken him for someone else. Don't you think it's weird he appears so young after a century has passed? So, mister, I still look young after 100 years. Why don't you tell us your secret? Again, I could ask you the same question. In any case, if I tell you my secret, it will not be a secret anymore, will it? Oh, good throwback. The words Junoru spoke were a direct quote of something he had said to the brothers many years ago. In response, Blace violently grabbed the man by the collar and glared down at him. No more joking around. We're not kids anymore. Up close, Blace finally noticed the bandages around Junoru's neck. They seemed familiar. In fact, they looked exactly like the ones he had given the man 100 years ago.
Bro, don't be so rough with him. He's injured, you know?
Blace slowly released the other man at his brother's behest. Then, in the blink of an eye, Junoru took the opportunity to sprint away as best he could.
What the heck? He's running away? Actually, he's doing a pretty good job of it with those wounds.
Just how pointless. The brothers chased their target and caught up with him in seconds. Blace grabbed Junoru's arm and threw him against the wall before wrapping a hand around his neck. Were you just pretending to be injured to fool us? I was not. Why did you run then? Is your target not supposed to flee? Blace raised his fist, aiming at Junoru, but hit the wall next to his face instead. The sound echoed through the empty street. Junoru did not even flinch. Don't answer me with questions. I find it rather ironic that you're ordering me around. I thought you hated that type of person. People change after 100 years. So did I. The dark-haired man smirked when he suddenly mustered the force to rip away from Blace's grip. However, the attacker did not give in peacefully. In the commotion, he tore the bandages off Junoru's neck, revealing the stitches holding his head in place. Do you still remember this? He held out a piece of bandage before Blace, whose eyes widened as he snatched the scrap away. At that moment, Junoru swiftly took the chance to escape from Blace. Jace ran to his brother, who seemed dazed over what just happened.
How did he do that?
I can no longer feel any pain. I have no limitations on my body. The man's expression turned cold as he peered down at the brothers. He almost seemed like an entirely different person. He reached up to check that his stitches around his neck were undamaged before correcting his dislocated joints. A normal person would scream from the pain, but to Junoru it seemed normal. Jace began to charge at Junoru, but Blace grabbed his brother's arm to stop him. I'm fine, Jace. Let me send this guy to hell personally. Ooh, we're getting a fight scene. Blace stood and removed the bandages wrapped around his arm, his limb morphing into a black metallic-like claw-like weapon. He dashed towards his target and slashed downwards with his claw. Junoru, who was completely unarmed, had no choice but to keep dodging the assaults. Why do you want me to die so badly? You're already dead. I'm only here to send you where you belong. And you brought your brother along so we could watch us fight. One of us is enough to take you down. You're being too cocky to win. But then, as if his own words were a curse, he made a misstep. He dodged Blace's bandage, but momentarily forgot about the claw, which pierced through his skin and left a deep bloody gash. With Junoru's guard broken, Blace managed to pin him to the ground. Any last words? The blue-haired man lowered his claw against his former friend's neck and glared at him. However, even on the cusp of death, Junoru managed to smile. I remember the time we spent together like it was yesterday. Those are some of the happiest moments of my life. I thought I had finally found friends who would accept me. As Blace peered into Junoru's eyes, the same memories flashed through his mind. The time we all played hide and seek together, and the time the very first day they met and played in Junoru's garden. That is, until you killed my parents. Damn! Blace suddenly paused and lowered his weapon. The scene became calm until the assailant's senses returned, and he lowered his claw once more. Oh, he raised his claw once more. Junoru reflexively lifted his arms over his neck like a shield and managed to block the brunt of the attack, the sharp claws lopping a single arm off. Freed from Blace's hold again, Junoru stood up and tried to reattach his limb, although there was nothing he could do about his ragged clothes. Jace stood glued to the spot in confusion. He saw his former childhood friend approach his brother to speak with him, but could not hear the words. What are they talking about? What'd you say, Junoru? The blue-haired man was frozen in place, and Junoru threw the twins a quick final glance before quietly leaving.
Blace, why'd you let him go?
Jace placed his hand on his brother's shoulder, but he brushed it away. Blace was acting weird. The man stood abruptly and walked past the redhead without even glancing at him. Let's go. Damn. Jace's story has most of my emotions, even though there are several parts I cannot understand. Despite what may have happened in their relationship, I understand the three of them used to be friends.
Wow, that's all I can tell you.
I'm having a hard time believing you're all so old.
Hey, my mind is still young, although I'm not sure I can say the same about my brother. Haha.
Jace holds his arm behind his head before stretching. Despite his casual, friendly attitude, he seems more mysterious than usual.
I don't know much about Juju anymore. That was the last time we actually spoke.
Why don't you try to reconnect?
Because he hurt my brother, and I can't forgive him for that.
You used to be friends though, didn't you?
That's true, but Blace clearly isn't ready for anything like this. You haven't seen the pain in his eyes. Sometimes on bad days, it seems like he's about to break down. Anyway, I can understand why Junoru hates us, so it's not like he's unjustified either.
I pursed my lips. It is difficult to believe the three of them share such a heavy past. I tried to suppress my thoughts and focus on something else. By the way, didn't you say you'd look ugly without those bandages? What was that illness you mentioned? Was that illness you mentioned a lie?
Ha, you're a sharp one, but that's not quite it. We're ugly because of the illness we have.
May I see what's under your bandages? That's really personal. We barely know this guy.
No.
But I'm really curious now. I just want to grab a pair of scissors and snip away. That's really rude. Jace laughs amusedly before bowing towards me, his face resting close to mine.
Oh, you naughty girl, wanting to strip me in a public place. Are you sure you won't regret it?
Of course, I would never call you ugly, Jace. For some reason, I blush at my own words, but I manage to make a confident expression. Jace slowly begins to unravel the bandages around his chin. I hold my breath as I wait to catch a glimpse of his face. I gasp in surprise when I see the large cut which runs from the corners of his mouth to his cheeks. Although the wounds have been stitched closed, the injuries appear fresh.
Did it scare you?
No, not at all. If anything, I kind of want to cry. It looks like it really hurts.
Cry? Well, that's a first. Sadly, those, as well as the other cuts on my body, are permanent.
The man swiftly wraps the bandages back on before speaking.
Wait, your whole body is like that?
What happened to you? Who would do such a thing?
Being the guardian of Heaven's Gate isn't an awesome job, you know. People will try to use you, and in some cases, torture you.
Jace's expression softens as he lets out a deep sigh. I pat his shoulder, trying to comfort him. So, Blace is the guardian of Hell's Gate?
Used to be. We abandoned our positions not too long ago. We still have our abilities and everything, but we're only working for ourselves at the moment.
Interesting. So when you were a guardian, you were sending people to heaven?
That's oversimplifying it, but you could say that. We were like lazy Shinigami.
Whoa, you must have great powers then, huh?
I can only send the dead, including lost souls, to where they belong, but Blace has always been called for more jobs than me. Humans are ruthless creatures, you know? You'd be appalled at how often they wish others would go to hell. Anyway, the only reason we have these powers is because we inherited them from our parents.
Jace casually shrugs, but I stare at him in awe. It seems the night class is full of all kinds of people, including some who are not even human.
My brother doesn't really want to hurt anyone, so he can only send souls to damnation. Oh, but he can only send souls to damnation. He suffers enough as it is, so please be patient with him.
Alright, I mean, I understand why he wants to distance himself from others, but I don't think it'll make him any happier.
That's his way of protecting himself.
Speaking of which, does he have wounds like yours?
Nope. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask him about it yourself.
Darn it. Jeez, it's hard to get his attention when he dislikes me already.
Not everything in life's free, Evillan. Put in some work and reap the rewards.
The redhead chuckles before heading back into the ballroom. I follow him after him, but bump into someone part way. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Oh, it's Blace. I raise my chin to find myself gazing at Blace. Speak of the devil. I become flustered and worried that he will insult me, but he ignores me before approaching his twin and whispering something to him.
Oh, really?
Jace scratches his head before peering at me with a smile.
We'll be stepping out now. Enjoy the ball, Evillan.
The brothers leave together. As suspicious as it is, I leave them be instead of deciding to search for Junoru. Just like before, he is nowhere to be found. I seat myself in a nearby chair and sigh. Now that I think about it, I do not truly know anything about Junoru's past. It's a mystery even to his childhood friends.
We promised we'd dance together before the night ended, but I don't know where he might have gone. I begin to step out for a breath of fresh air, hoping Junoru thought to do the same. However, while searching for the balcony, I become lost. Oh great, we're lost again. There's ghosts around. The sound gives me goosebumps all over my body. Even though I know what it is, I turn around. I notice a shadow in the distance. Oh no, have they even reached the school grounds? I totally forgot about these zombies while I was enjoying the ball. I should let Junoru know about this. I begin running away. Luckily the zombie is slow, so I have time. Before I reach the main hall, I find Junoru. Miss Evillan, are you okay? Yeah, but look over there. He stands next to me, his gaze fixed darkly on the body that is moving closer to us slowly. I'm glad I was able to arrive in time. What are we supposed to do with that? I believe it's lost. These zombies don't normally enter buildings. Please stay back. Let me... Blace and Jace appear on the scene.
Ah, thank you for luring out our target.
Target? You guys were looking for that?
Not specifically. We heard a few rumors about a scary person wandering around the building and thought we'd see if it was true or not.
While the brothers walk past us, Blace glances at Junoru for a second.
Let us take care of it.
Once the twins are out of sight, my friend lets his head droop. I am sorry I could not do anything for you, Miss Evillan. If only I were...
That's not true. You came to my rescue in the nick of time. If you hadn't been there, I would have died of fright.
Junoru smiles faintly, but I can see the uneasiness in his eyes. He mumbles something to himself. I should hurry up with the cure. Wait? It's nothing. Perhaps we should head home now.
Alright then, let's get late.
I thought we were gonna dance. I nod and the two of us head back to the carriage. But I thought we were gonna dance. It was gonna be romantic. I sit next to Ju in the front seat so it's easier for us to talk. Would you mind if we stopped at my home for a bit?
Sure.
Although I want to ask about what happened between Junoru and Blace, I do not want to accidentally ruin the mood. I am sorry our evening did not quite turn out as expected.
Weird things like that are always seeming to happen to me at the worst times.
I had wanted to spend time with you, but you disappeared.
Oh, sorry. I stepped out for some fresh air because it was getting warm in there.
Come to think of it, I danced with a lot of guys tonight, but the only one I really wanted to dance with was nowhere to be found. After we reach the mansion, we head into the backyard where small lanterns are lit along the path, giving us barely enough light to see the ground. Before he says anything, I ask for a dance. Aww. I slowly place my hand on top of his, blushing all the while.
To be honest, I'm not much of a dancer.
Junoru places his index finger in front of my lips, silencing me before taking my free hand and resting it on his shoulder. He patiently guides me through a waltz, and then another classic ballroom dance. I try to hide my nervousness with a smile. Our movements feel strangely natural as we step around the yard. With Junoru leading the way, I feel much more confident about my dancing. I am sorry we did not have the chance to dance together at the ball. I realize this did not make up for it, however.
There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just glad we can spend time together now.
I am too. You look absolutely stunning in that dress, Miss Evillan, and watching you move so elegantly is a sight to behold. My friend's words make me feel speechless. He knows how to pull at my heartstrings. While we dance together in the moonlight, fireflies move around us, making the scene even more beautiful and romantic than the ballroom at the school. When we gaze into each other's eyes, I instantly realize that I like Junoru as more than a friend. My heart beats rapidly, but I try to stay calm. Miss Evillan. His face turns serious as we move a little closer. Slower. The sudden change makes me nervous, my mind racing with worry. How should I say this? I believe we should spend less time together. What? No! I blink innocently, wondering where this is coming from. So much has happened over the past few days, and I've only dragged you into my mess. In fact, I'm sure those zombies like limbs earlier went after you because of my scent.
In other words, you think I'd be safer that way?
Indeed. Miss Evillan, I like you. I do not wish for you to get hurt because of me.
Oh,
I'm sure my face is bright red. Are you feeling alright? You look feverish. He presses his cool forehead against mine, causing my face to come even redder. I push my head against Junoru's shoulder to hide my face, preemptively embarrassed by the words I'm about to speak. Miss Evillan.
No matter what you tell me, I won't stay away from you. I'm already involved in this, and there's no way to undo it, so please, let me help you.
I don't want to keep standing around on the sidelines. I want to learn more about you and hear about your past.
I do not think it is anything worth telling.
What are you talking about? You're the most interesting person I've ever met, Ju. I'll say it again. I want to stay by your side. I want to learn more about you and help you.
I understand. Evillan. This is the first time he's ever dropped his formalities with me. My heart feels heavier when he says my name. The silence is deafening, but Junoru's arms wrap around me and I'm pulled into a strong embrace. With my face still against Junoru's jacket, I notice he smells exactly like his garden. A mixed scent of flowers and a light rainfall. I can sense the conflicting emotions in his touch. There's sadness, confusion, and happiness. It is as if he cannot decide which is correct. I cannot understand why he feels the way he does, nor why, when they are so close to spilling out, he is trying to lock those same feelings away. We quietly stand still for a few moments longer, neither of us speaking a word until we finally part. It is getting late. I should bring you home.
Alright, I still have to get up for class in the morning, don't I? I'm not sure I'll be able to wake up in time, though.
Please, do not worry. I'll handle things with the administration for you.
Alright, but I still feel bad about skipping so many days lately.
I can help you catch up on everything you missed.
Eh? I thought you only went to class at night.
Incidentally, I've read over every textbook available at the school as a result of having too much free time.
Oh wow, you must be super smart, Ju.
Huh, not as much as you would expect. I walked next to Junoru on our way home. Absent-mindedly, I gazed at the starry sky. No other night has felt so eventful like this. Have you ever encountered any other living dead?
You mean ones like you?
Not quite. As far as I know, aside from my brother, I'm the only other one who was created artificially. The rest are ranked by their stage of decomposition.
Wait, there are ranks?
Indeed. I call the lowest rank the soulless. They are quite literally moving bags of rotten meat and are quite harmless. The rank above them are called the brainless. They are more dangerous because they will attack people purely on instinct. The second rank are the fake. They are living dead who look and act like normal humans but secretly feed upon them. They are the most dangerous since you cannot predict their actions. Junoru heaves a heavy sigh. He must have encountered a lot of living dead to have gone to the trouble of classifying them. Roya wanted me to avoid those sort. He was worried the state of my body would only worsen since I refused to heal it conventionally.
That sounds like a good call on his part. So that leaves first rank. What are they?
Well, that would be those who do not decompose.
And they're otherwise the same as fakes?
Not quite. They sometimes retain special abilities.
Are you classified as one too?
I suppose so, yes.
I don't know much about your abilities.
He gives me a weak smile and nods. Yes, although they are unbelievably useless.
That only makes me curious.
I will tell you about them more tomorrow, okay?
Fine.
After escorting me home, Junoru slowly raises his hand and brushes my bangs away, planting a kiss on my forehead. I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight, Miss Evillan. I freeze, gawking speechlessly at nothing in particular until he's lost out of sight.
He kissed me?
I touched his spot he pressed his lips against, still feeling the coolness of his lips there.
Kissing someone there, doesn't that mean they only like you as a friend? Ugh, I need to calm down before I read too far into it.
In the morning, I end up accidentally skipping school when I sleep through my alarm. I only hope my absence does not worry Iki or Ryoji. After eating lunch, I head straight to Junoru's place. I instantly notice that the chains on the front door have been removed, presumably because they are no longer needed. I curiously knock on the door. A few seconds later, Junoru opens it to greet me with a smile. Ah, you do not feel like using the secret passage today?
Well, since you got rid of those chains, I thought you would prefer that I come in this way.
Huh, you are free to use whichever way you prefer. I follow Junoru into the living room where I notice several photo albums have been opened and spread across the coffee table. I randomly pick one up and begin perusing the photos.
Whoa, is that really you? You're so adorable.
The man appears flustered as he takes the album from my hands to check which photo I've seen. Oh, yes, that is me.
Your face is pretty red, you know. Are you hiding something from me?
No, what is there to hide?
Huh, I bet there's some super embarrassing pictures of you in here.
The man silently takes a seat on the couch before sorting through a few loose photos scattered over the table.
If you don't mind, I'd like to see the rest.
I take a seat and gaze at them with sparkling eyes. In reply, he turns away, trying to avoid my gaze. I tug at his sleeve, forcing him to look back at me. I strike once more.
Please?
It is embarrassing. If I had known you were going to visit so soon, I would not have brought the albums out.
So what? I'd like to learn more about you, and the embarrassing moments are as good as the other ones, as far as I'm concerned.
Even so, there's nothing interesting here. Although I'm disappointed, I realize I should not force Junoru to do anything. Digging up memories can be painful, especially when they're about the deceased. Before I can apologize, Junoru moves closer to me and begins to lift the cover of the album in his hands. I blink in confusion. On second thought, perhaps it would be nice to share my memories with you. It has been quite the burden keeping everything to myself.
If you don't want to, then...
He shakes his head slightly and smiles. These memories should not be locked away. Especially not my time with Roya. You did meet him after all. Evillan, shall we start over? I wish to share my story with you.
Aww. I am shocked to say the least, but I managed to nod.
Before Junoru continues the story, he serves me tea. You might like an appetizer, as this will take a while. As you already know, Roya and I were born to the Kenriji family. I do try to keep it hidden, however, as the name evokes certain reactions. You've read about my family in your history books, as have most of the other villagers. It is to be expected.
Which reminds me, if your whole family was supposed to have died forever ago, how are you here?
It is complicated, but I was in a slumber for around a century. It's not been long since I woke up. The village did not change as much as I expected. Where should I start? It feels as if everything happened only yesterday. Junoru flips open the album and begins the story from the first photograph.
Roya, where are you?
Aw, little Juju.
I ran through the hallway searching for my brother. Even though I told him I gave up on our game of hide and seek, he still had not come out. A room with large doors caught my attention, so I walked inside and kneeled for my brother. A small wooden box piqued my interest, rather the fact that it was sealed behind a glass door, reinforced by several heavy locks. Oh, what could be inside? Probably something dangerous.
Didn't Crado have a box that... He opened a box that cursed him, and then something happened where he ended up in the future, like 100 years in the future. When I reached out to touch the glass, I heard my brother call out to me.
That's the family heirloom. Don't touch it.
Oh, Roya, do not scare me like that. Why is it in a storage room?
It's called being hidden in plain sight, you know.
Nobody told me about this.
Heh, when you're older, I'll tell you all sorts of cool things.
Roya grabbed my hand and squeezed it as he pulled me along. Where are Mommy and Daddy?
They worked late last night, so they're resting.
Oh, they have been really busy lately. I felt disappointed as I recalled the times we had spent together as a family in the past. I hope they can play with us again soon.
You should go to sleep, little bro.
I do not want to.
Why are you always so difficult about this? Ugh. No wonder Mom has a hard time with you. You never want to sleep. How about this? Since you couldn't find me in my hide and seek, we'll play tag for a little while. You'll be it, and we'll only use the second floor. Easy, right?
Okay. We romped through the halls until I started to become tired. In the end, I was never able to catch Roya. He did not pass up the opportunity to tease me about it either. He finally managed to get me tucked into bed, and I swiftly fell asleep. ... In the middle of the night, I woke up to strange noises. It sounded as if someone was knocking on the window, but my room was on the 3rd floor. I crawled out of bed and pushed the curtains aside, where I found a note stuck to the outside of my window. I was frightened, but I retrieved it and opened the letter. The handwriting was messy, but its message was clear enough. Mr. and Mrs. Kenriji, you have 1 week to leave this village. If you do not, the deaths of you and your sons will be assured. My hand shook in fear while I stared at the paper. What is going on? Why would anyone threaten Mommy and Daddy? I assumed the letter had been accidentally sent to me instead of my parents, but I could not bring myself to give it to them. I feared it would only make the situation worse. Probably worse not giving it to them, though. In the morning, I ate breakfast with my family in the dining room, as I always did. The atmosphere was quieter than usual, and I could not bring myself to meet my parents' eyes. Oh, this is the first time we're seeing the Kenriji people. Mommy, are there people who hate us? Yes, but there will always be people like that, dear. Why the sudden question? It's nothing. Did something happen at school?
Oh, Dad looks hot.
Do not pay attention to the bullies, son. Even if you live your life without making a single mistake, someone will find a reason to dislike you. Moreover, it is important that you always be kind to those close to you. Your friends will help you get through life. Although I did not understand what my father said, his words felt reassuring. Mother reached out to gently caress my cheek, giving me a soft smile. If there's anything bothering you, Junoru, we are here to listen to you. Aww, good parents.
Daddy, when are you going to take a holiday? Yeah, it's been ages since we went on a trip.
We went to see the circus just last month, didn't we, children? And what about the hike through the forest?
But that was last month. I want to go somewhere now.
In due time, my son. Your mother and I are busy with important research, and you still need to still focus on your schoolwork. We'll take a trip over the next holiday, okay?
Okay, Daddy.
Roya was still moody and unsatisfied, like he always was when things did not go the way he wanted them to. Mother patted him on the head and poured him another cup of tea. Daddy promised we would go on another trip. Trip another time. Do not be such a baby.
Who's the baby, walking potato?
Daddy. Roya, be nice to Junoru. He's your only sibling.
Can't you give me another sibling instead? A less annoying one.
Mother and father stared at each other for a long moment. Finally, father blushed and took a sip of his tea, leaving mother to respond.
You can't predict how your new brother will act. Besides, I think I'd rather give you a little sister to take care of. I don't want to take care of anyone else. Can't you give us an older brother?
Nope. Sorry. Fate has already decided you're the oldest.
Well, that doesn't mean Ju can't take care of you instead, right?
I peeked at Roya with an innocent expression, but he stuck his tongue out and turned away from me.
Until you two make up, neither of you will get dessert.
Why me too, Mommy? No argument is one-sided, sweetheart. You should be supportive of your brother, okay? I'm not sure that is a fair punishment. You know how much Junoru loves dessert, my love. That's true. How about this? No desserts for Junoru and toys for Roya.
What? But I just bought a new ball.
Which is a good reason for you to make up soon. I poked around my plate and sighed. Upon noticing my gloomy face, father discreetly shared a piece of chocolate bread with me, winking before returning to his meal. He rarely disagreed with mother, but I knew he only wanted the best for us. Later that night, I heard my parents conversing in the dining room. I hid near the bottom of the stairs and tried to listen in. Dear, have you been getting enough rest? I cannot fool you, can I? There's no need to rush. Lately, I've been thinking we should focus more on our health and family. The research can come second. I'm already satisfied with the life we've built. I am concerned that our research will fall into the wrong hands. Our original goal was to create a potion capable of curing any illness. Instead, we have created something that grants immortality. Now we are finally back on track. We are so close to finding the formula.
Shh, I know. We work together, remember?
I apologize, honey. I've been so focused on my work lately.
Huh, I can tell. Why don't we spend some quality time together like we used to?
It would be my pleasure, Miss Junoru.
Oh, you. Don't start calling me that again.
Can you stop me?
Aw. He reminds me so much of Junoru. Oh, Desm. Save that for later tonight.
Father chuckled and mother mumbled something too quietly for me to hear. Can you check on the children? I'm especially worried about Junoru. That child does not like to sleep. Of course. I will take care of the boys. You can go to the bedroom. I will join you later. I dashed back to my room and buried my face under the blanket, hoping father would not notice I was awake. When the door opened, my heartbeat quickened and I nervously clamped my eyes shut. A hand slowly pulled the blanket down. Juju, I know you're not asleep. Aww. I opened my eyes to see father sitting on the edge of my bed. Hee. I heard you run up the stairs. Did you eavesdrop my conversation with your mother?
Yes.
He smiled gently and stroked my hair. I do not wish to keep any secrets from you, but you are too young to understand our circumstances. Someday I will tell you more about our research.
Daddy, I will help you, so please do not overwork yourself.
If that is what you want to do when you are older, I would be quite happy. Now, tell me why you're still awake.
I'm worried about the letter I received. I still cannot fall asleep. Should I tell Daddy about it?
My hands clutched around the blanket. Suddenly, father disturbed my thoughts with a question. Do you want to hear a story? It's called A Single Dark Light. What's it about? A guardian who watches over this very village. They resided in a temple deep in the forest. The demon? The guardian keeps away all the evil spirits that might haunt our dreams. If you're lucky, you may even see this entity in your dreams as it works to keep the nightmares away. What does it look like? You will have to find out when you meet them.
I'll go to sleep right away then.
That's my boy. Father smiled and gently caressed my cheek before planting a kiss on my forehead. As he left, I pulled up my blanket. It was not long before I fell into a deep slumber. Next 2 weeks passed peacefully until I found another letter at the front door. There was no return address, but Kenriji was written neatly in the center of the envelope. Curious, I opened it and took out an old-looking piece of paper. I instantly recognized the handwriting as matching the contents of the letter from the last time. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kenriji, if you care for your children's safety, you will leave this village by midnight. This is your final warning. I hurried to Roya's room and impatiently banged on the door, hoping he would know what to do. Yeah, coming. My brother greeted me with a sleepy expression and a bad case of bedhead. Look what I found. I pushed the note into his hands and waited until he finished reading it. So, what's the big deal? He shrugged as if receiving death threats was a normal thing. Do you not understand? Someone is blackmailing our parents. So what? Those jealous fools do this all the time. There's no point in worrying about it. Besides, you can break into a mansion that has dozens of guards patrolling the grounds day and night. Juju, you're overreacting. You knew about this the entire time? Roya tore the note to pieces and patted my head, smiling softly. Before you were born, someone tried to kidnap me at kindergarten. It's why we don't go to public school. Oh, okay. Why are people doing this to us? Someone will always hate you when you're well known. But there's also the fact that we have something nobody else does. We have a potion that makes you immortal, and everyone wants to steal it from us. I gave Roya a confused stare and shook my head in disbelief. You'll understand when you're older. For now, just ignore those flies. I sighed as my head drooped. Suddenly I wanted to escape from my worries, so I snuck outside to find my new playmates, Jace and Blace. But they're the ones that killed your parents. That night I could not fall asleep. I had just lost my first and only friends. They told me that our statuses were too different. Who cares about what status is as long as you get along with one another? Or did they start to hate my family too? I do not understand. Blace, did you not say that status does not matter? I wish I could speak to Jace. He could not have agreed to this. I rubbed my face and stopped sulking. Things had simply returned to the status quo. My family's overprotectiveness had always kept me isolated. The noise of something shattered resounded from the hallway. I jumped out of bed, trying to figure out what was going on, when my mother rushed into the room with her face half covered by a scarf. She quickly shut the door and dashed over to me, embracing me with a sigh of relief. Mommy, what's going on? I'm so glad you're okay, Ju. Where are Daddy and Roya? Roya is safe, and your father will follow us later. She pulled a familiar-looking bottle out of her pocket and opened it. Junoru, if something bad happens, don't look for your father for me, or me, okay? I was confused, but nodded nonetheless. Mother forced the bottle into my hands and wrapped my fingers around it. Please, keep this safe. Don't let anyone else have it. Ju, I love you. She hugged me one last time, her cheeks damp from tears, before helping me hide under the bed. No matter what you see or hear, don't come out and don't make a sound. Ooh, spooky. Barely a moment later, the door slammed open. I caught a glance of one boy with bandages covering his mouth and a number of adults with their faces covered. I don't have it! Chasing me is a waste of your time. On the contrary, taking your life is of equal value to us. I'm not afraid of you. One person charged at her, grabbing him from his arm, and they were confused. And as they were confused, she threw them against the wall. The enemy was surprised and did not lose their focus. The leader of the men motioned towards Mother. In a few short moments, they had her restrained against the floor. She continued struggling, but there was no way out of the grasp of three armed men. Jace, who had been lurking behind the adult, suddenly removed the bandages from his right arm and charged toward my mother. Wait! With her guard down, the masked people pinned her to the ground, creating a barricade I could not even see light through. Stab her once more. What are you forcing a child to do? I'm sorry. This will all be over quick. Desmond, Junoru, Roya, I love you. The room was silent for a good minute until the adults stood up. Although they promptly left the room, Jace stayed behind. I could barely prevent myself from gasping when I saw the pool of blood my mother was lying within. Suddenly, Jace glanced in my direction and walked closer to the bed. Hey, I know you're here. I let out a scream and crawled out from under the bed, running towards Mother's body to try to wake her up. I took my mother's cold hand in mine, causing my vision to blur as the tears welled up in my eyes.
She's no longer with us. There's no point in doing that. I made sure she peacefully passed on to heaven. You know, I'm not doing this because I want to. Hey, I need that bottle you're holding. Give it here.
When Jace reached out towards me, I crawled backwards.
What do you need it for? Are you going to give it to those people?
Well, I uncorked the bottle and pressed the rim against my lips, tilting it upwards. The sweet liquid began to fill my mouth.
You idiot! Do you know what you're doing?
I promised Mommy that I would not let you people get it. As I ran into the hallway, I smelled something strange. After a few breaths, I became dizzy. I swiftly realized some sort of gas had been released into the house. I covered my mouth and nose with my sleeves before continuing to the seemingly empty second floor. Where is everyone? There should be guards patrolling at night, too.
Daddy, where are you?
I grew more desperate with each step, feeling a sickening relief when I finally heard a scream from one of the nearby rooms.
That voice, could it be Daddy?
Using the door as cover, I peeked inside the messy room. There were a number of masked people and Blace. In the center of them was my father, who was pinned to the ground. He appeared worn down, but there was no way he could escape. Use your power. Finish him off. Send this man to hell already. Lord knows he deserves it. You don't want me to get rough with you, do you? My brother should be here soon. He can... Hurry up! Blace flinched, but then slowly walked towards his father. I never thought you'd bring children into this. I cannot believe someone like you was ever on our team. I know what you were planning to do with that serum. You won't convince me to back down. I told you it was a misunderstanding. I'm so close to creating a cure. You only want to mass-produce the immortality serum and sell it for profit. How else could you manage this glamorous lifestyle? I watched while Blace stabbed my father. He only laid there, unmoving, without making a single sound. That's rude, making the mom go to heaven and the dad go to hell. That's really rude. They can't even be together in the next life. That's really sad. Before I could react, the adults turned around and glanced in my direction. I immediately ran away in a panic. Why is this happening? This cannot be real. It must be a nightmare. My footsteps echoed through the silent hallways. I did not know where I was going or what to do next. All of a sudden, I was knocked onto the ground. As my knees hit the ground, I felt a sharp pain in my back. It hurts. I can't get up. My limbs gave up and I collapsed onto the floor. I did not have the strength to crawl. Even my eyelids became too heavy to lift. ... When the feeling of my limbs returned, I slowly opened my eyes. I didn't know how much time had passed. Huh? You're still alive? I was sure that... Never mind. I turned my head and noticed a mysterious girl sitting beside me. She wore a large scarf which covered her neck and part of her face, a few strands of pink hair sticking out of the fabric. Pink hair? Even though I'd never seen her before, a familiar aura surrounded her. I opened my eyes to speak, my mouth to speak, but my throat was so dry that no sound came out. This is strange. How do you feel? I looked around and realized that I was laying in a bed. I did not know where I was. Though the foggy pain in my head, I managed to recall a few key memories. There was some kind of gas, and my parents, I still do not know where Roya is. My eyes instantly became wet. Soon tears began streaming down my cheeks. Although I tried to bravely wipe them away, they continued flowing. The girl bent down and patted me on the head. Don't cry, okay? Everything will be alright. She handed me a bottle of water and gave me a moment to recover. May I know where I am? You're at my place. Feel free to stay for as long as you want. Miss, do you know where my brother is? I don't. I'm sorry. Why did I only get away safely? I did search for your brother as well, but I couldn't find him. There's a chance he's still alive. I was disappointed, but also relieved that Roya might still have gotten away somehow. You're Junoru Kenriji, right? Yes. How did you know? I heard a lot about you from your mother. I didn't expect you to look so much like your father. I pursed my lips together at the remembrance of my parents. The girl gently patted me on the head before speaking in a calmer tone. Well, Junoru, I need to give you a checkup. Your body was in a strange state a minute ago. Oh, there's no need. I do feel a little lightheaded, but that's all. She sighed and crossed her arms. It took a minute before I finally gave in. After I gave her my arm, she checked my pulse. I knew something was odd. What? Shh, be quiet. I sat frozen in the spot, utterly confused about the situation. Just as I thought, no pulse. She pulled her back with a strange expression before turning to me. Did your parents give you something strange to drink or eat? Mommy gave me a bottle of something strange and I drank it. The girl rubbed her face and sighed loudly. This is bad. Eh? The serum she gave you grants immortality, or longevity, I guess, but When I found you, I thought you were dead. It's only my theory, but right now I believe you're frozen in a state between life and death. Does that mean I cannot die? It's difficult to explain to a child. Tell me, please. Well, I've been working with your parents since the beginning, but even I don't really understand how the serum works. As far as I know, you can only die from either being beheaded or having your entire body burned. Once you reach adulthood, your body will most likely stop aging, like you'll grow to the point where your DNA would normally begin to break down, and then stop. A man with an incurable illness volunteered to do a trial for the serum, but he was murdered before we could finish the research, unfortunately. If I had to compare it to anything, it would be a zombie-like state, but without any decomposition. You see, we actually developed the serum directly from a zombie sample. This chemical composition that spreads into their blood can kill any living creature that comes into contact with it, and we want to reverse it. Turn it into something that can cure any illness. Have I turned into a monster? No, sweetheart. Don't worry. I'll find a way to help you undo this. The girl smiled as she let go of my arm, but I felt uncomfortable. It was difficult to wrap my head around so much information. You are still a little kid. I worked to develop the serum with your parents for the past few years. I just don't understand how things went so wrong. Your parents are good people. They started their research to find new ways to cure sicknesses to make people healthier. When the word that they'd accidentally created an immortality potion leaked, even other members of the research team became greedy and wanted to steal it. That explains why our home was attacked, but not how Blace and Jace got involved in this. By the way, I'm Yokishi, but you can call me Yoki. I'll keep you safe from now on. Oh, okay. We haven't seen her yet. Yokishi pulled her hoodie back to release her long pink hair. It was so beautiful that it almost looked like a wig. Her gray eyes peered into mine as she smiled. I froze when I suddenly recalled where I'd seen her before. She was one of the friends my mother occasionally shared a cup of tea with. I'm pretty sure Mommy said Yoki was someone we could trust. Eventually, when they realize your corpse is missing, people will start hunting you down. You can stay here for as long as you need. In the meantime, I'll try to locate your brother. Thank you, Yoki. In the following days, I was not allowed to take a single step outside. Yukishi's home was not as fanciful as I was used to, but at least there was a roof over my head. Junoru, I have some food for you. She walked into the room carrying a grocery bag of snacks and other delicious-looking foods. Whoa, I've always wanted to try these, but Mommy and Daddy always said no. I'm sorry, you probably aren't used to such a simple lifestyle, but I'm trying my best to make you comfortable. I grabbed a prepackaged melon bread from the top of the bag and eagerly dug in. After a few bites, however, I felt strange. What's wrong? Does it not suit your taste? No, it really is delicious. I bit into it again, trying to force it down my throat, but suddenly I had the urge to throw up. It tastes good, so why do I need to... Yokishi went through the trouble to get this for me. I should pretend that I'm fine. Here, have some water. I took the bottle and drank the contents within seconds. I felt a lot better, although I was still hungry. What's your favorite dish? I might be able to buy it for you. I didn't really have one. Anything is fine. I tried the other foods Yokishi had brought, but I could not get any of them down my throat. It was as if my body was rejecting them. I was overcome with hopelessness when I bit out a delicious meat bun and it would not go down properly. I could not pretend to be fine any longer. I'm guessing your body is presently undergoing a transformation from human to living dead. You must need to eat something else. Sorry that I didn't notice it before. What should I eat instead then? I'm not sure. Living dead usually eat human meat and blood, so maybe you should try those. Ew, no way. I was disgusted by the very idea, vehemently shaking my head. I will live on water alone. If you say so. Just tell me if you ever change your mind. Why are you helping me so much anyway? Because I feel responsible for the deaths of your parents. I should have known better, but I didn't think the villagers were serious. I arrived too late to save them. As I see it, helping you is my way of atoning for my mistakes. If that's the case, I should really have told Mommy and Daddy when I found those threatening notes. It's all my fault. No, they would have seen many of those before. It wouldn't have made a difference. Maybe I should have died back there. Junoru, don't say things like that. Your life is a gift. Don't throw it away when your parents would want you to live on happily, and I'll make sure it never happens. I'll make sure that it happens. Yokishi took my hands in hers and stared firmly into my eyes. Somehow my doubts were instantly washed away. Aww, this is really sweet. I spent my time in an empty room for the next week. Yokishi had a job to go to, so she could not watch over me the whole time. I had been away from home for a while, and I was curious about what had happened after I left. I missed Roya a lot and could not help but wonder if he was safe. I fell asleep imagining the possibilities. Dot to dot. When I opened my eyes once more, the room was dark, save for the moonlight that shone through the window and onto the bed. Yokishi was not back yet, but I was really thirsty. Instead of waiting for her, I decided to get a cup myself. Fumbling through the darkness was not the best idea, but I could not find the light switch. Ugh, this is annoying. If turning into a zombie gave me superpowers like night vision, maybe this wouldn't be so bad. Suddenly, I tripped over something and fell flat onto my face. Although it did not hurt, it was still unpleasant. Ow, I wish I had a candle. Junoru. Yoki, is that you? Junoru. I quickly raised my fist to defend myself when I heard someone call my name. Who are you? I finally found you. A half-rotten face appeared in front of me. I fell onto the ground in shock, but tried to crawl away from the figure. Wait. Go away. When I turned back, I realized the person was coming towards me. I was so scared that tears began to well up in my eyes. Help me, Yoki. I felt so weak after losing my family and everything I knew, but I ran around blindly until I came to a dead end. You can't escape now. The scary-looking person walked closer. When she stepped into the moonlight, I noticed her damaged, dirty clothes and hair so messy that it resembled a bird's nest, a few loose strands shielding her face. The things Yokichi said before flashed in my mind, and I realized this person must be a zombie. How did you find me, and what do you want? Junoru, you must help me. The woman crept forward with the marionette-like movements. I had to avert my eyes. Don't come any closer. I cannot help you. I need the potion, and you must have it. I don't understand what you mean. Leave me alone. Help me. I want to live again. Yes, I can smell it on you. I had not realized she was so close, but she grabbed my arm and sunk her teeth into my flesh. The zombie smirked down at me with her lipless mouth. Despite my fear, I raised a fist and knocked her away from me. Her head rocked back and forth as if attached to an invisible wire. I blinked in surprise. Was this woman weak, or was I just strong? I was attacked again, but I dodged the sloppy movements and kicked at the zombie's legs, causing her to fall. I need to eat more. My fear faded away to adrenaline as adrenaline began to flow through me. I need to live again. If you keep bothering me, I will ensure you never live again. Oh, I should look elsewhere then. There is another. With that, the woman stood up and walked away. I remained on guard until the sound of footsteps disappeared. I leaned against the wall as I stared at the deep red marks on my arm. It did not hurt, but it was itchy. Eating me will bring zombies back to life, huh? Is it true that if I drank the bottle... Is it true that I drank the potion, but that does not sound possible? There you are, Junoru. Yokishi ran towards me with a worried expression. Why aren't you in your room? I thought something had happened to you. I saw the door was left wide open. I'm fine. You were late, and I was tired of waiting for you. I needed something to drink. I pouted as I hid my wounded arm behind my back. Yokichi glanced around suspiciously. I worried that she had seen through me, but she never asked a question. I was sure she noticed something strange, but didn't go into the topic to prevent worrying me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Someone made a mistake at work, and it took me hours to make up for it. I promise I didn't forget about you. She took out a water bottle and a small paper bag, handing them to me. I curiously peeked into the bag, backing away when I saw its contents. What is this? I smuggled a blood donation out of the hospital in case you got hungry. I do not need it. You don't need to hold back. Whatever you do or become, I will always support you. No, I don't need your pity. You're only doing this out of guilt in the first place. I pursed my lips together while my fists anxiously shook. I instantly regretted my words, but instead of apologizing, I ran away. Wait, Ju! I locked myself in my room and suppressed my tears. It seems like I had become a crybaby lately. I appreciate Yoki's kindness, but I don't want to accept this. As the time passed, I became tired. Ignoring my hunger, I fell into a dreamless slumber. In the morning, I found myself sleeping on the floor, but I could not bring myself to care. Yokishi was working at the hospital again, so I thought she would not notice if I snuck out for a few hours to enjoy the weekend. I slowly opened the door and peeked into the hallway, only to notice there was a small note left for me. Dear Junoru, there is some food for you in the white bag. I apologize for upsetting you. Please don't be mad at me, Yokishi. There was a pang of guilt in my chest, but I still wanted to go out. Should I disguise myself? I searched the closet and found a black jacket. It was too big for me, but the only other option was a skirt, and I was not in the mood to cross-dress. I stepped onto the sidewalk and tried to figure out which direction my home was in, but I soon noticed the flyers posted everywhere. The sons of the Kenriji family are missing. If you know where they are, send a letter to... The reward for bringing them in is 10 million.
10 million? That's a lot of money. Wait, for children?
I guess rich children, but still, that's a lot of money. I speechlessly stared at the paper at the bottom of which Roya and my photos were included. Our parents are already dead. What did they stand in gaining our life from taking our lives as well? Feeling on edge, I walked further on. Before long, I located the mansion. The exterior was the same as always. The only difference was that it was now abandoned. I entered through the unlocked front door, the sound of my footsteps echoing through the main room. Most of the furniture was gone. It had probably been stolen after the attack. I went upstairs hoping to find my parents' bodies. Unfortunately, the rooms were now empty. Even the bloodstains had been cleaned, not a shred of evidence left behind. A few beds and coats were left behind, but even my personal belongings had been stolen. I closed my eyes and tried to hold my sad thoughts back. Aww. Those people took away my parents and my peaceful life. The memory of Blace and Jace on that fateful day flashed through my mind. I still could not believe what they had done to me. Eventually, it led to another memory. I recalled the bottle Roya showed me in the storage room weeks earlier. I searched for it, hoping it was still there. There were piles of books and damaged furniture everywhere. The place had practically been turned upside down. The glass cabinet, of course, was broken, and there was nothing inside of it. However, a small wooden box that was half buried underneath the pile of books caught my eye. I carefully retrieved it before checking it from each angle. I ran a finger over the strange imprint on the back of the box, removing the dust. Then suddenly the lid popped open. Oh, this is the potion. While examining my discovery, footsteps began to echo through the hallway. I swiftly placed the box back in its place and hid myself behind the window curtains. Where's that potion? I know there were extra doses made. Tell me! I quickly peeked out of a small hole in a fabric to see an unfamiliar man pulling a young boy into the room with him. Oh my, that's Roya! Spit it out, boy. You must know where it is. I don't know anything. Don't play dumb. Your parents wouldn't have hidden it from you. I told you that I don't know. Even if I knew, I would never tell you anyway. The man ferociously slammed a knee into Roya's stomach, throwing him against the wall like a rag doll. Tell me where it is if you value your life. You won't kill me. Are you sure about that? There's still your brother. I can find him and make him spill everything. I jumped out of my hiding spot, my body moving of its own accord, and punched the stranger. Get away from my brother! Ha! What's this? The man simply moved away and grabbed me by my collar, lifting me into the air. I struggled, but it did nothing. Ah, let me go! You must be Junoru Kenriji, right? I can't believe my luck, winning 2 prizes on the same day. Juji, what are you doing here? Stop staring and run away already! Old man, you shouldn't involve my brother in this. Roya grabbed the knife with his bare hands and pulled it from the man's grip. He jumped and kicked the man's face to free me. In reflex, the man covered his face and stumbled back. I could see the blood dripping from his nose. Let's see, how should I punish you for hurting Juju? I cowered behind my brother, both amazed and afraid of his strength. I'm not going to hold back anymore, you little brats. The man stepped forward. The man stepped towards us with his arms outstretched. While he held my breath, Roya courageously dashed forward. It took a moment for the stranger to realize that my brother had stabbed him in the stomach a dozen times in the time it took him to smirk. Go to hell. The man collapsed onto the ground as Roya pulled the bloody knife out. Is he dead? Yep, there's no doubt about it. Since when were you so strong? And why didn't you escape if you knew you could handle it? It's a long story. Before we dispose of the body, let me have a snack. Roya pulled up the sleeve of the corpse and bowed down. Ew, what are you doing? I'm going to eat, silly head. What? Don't tell me you've turned into a zombie as well. You too, huh? Yes, but why? Heh, welcome to immortality, little bro. I turned away while Roya gorged himself. After a few minutes, he pulled away and wiped the blood off his lips. Anyway, let's bury the body before anyone catches us here. I'll explain everything to you afterwards. He effortlessly pulled the corpse along by the arms. It seemed like my brother had turned into an entirely different person. We brought the body to the backyard where we dug a shallow grave. Once it was covered, we spread some grass and weeds on it to hide the disturbance in the ground. Roya turned to me with a mischievous smile. Let's sit and talk. It feels like it's been forever. Where have you been all this time? I was worried sick, you know. Hey, that's supposed to be my line. One of Mommy's friends, Yokishi, saved me and took me in. Wow, you're a lucky turd. I was saved by one of the servants, but then she got scared and ran off alone.
You know, people are hunting us, right? Anyone who helps us is putting themselves in danger. Surviving on your own is tough, but it's kind of fun, too.
You said that you became immortal before, did you not? Oops, wrong one.
Oh, yeah, it was an accident. Dad gave me 2 bottles, and I drank both of them.
Oh.
What? You drank 2? I only drank 1.
What's wrong with that? I have a bad feeling about this, but I cannot pinpoint why. Roya pinched my cheek. I whined in annoyance, but felt no actual pain.
Heh, our new bodies are so fun. Being dead is way better than being alive. Even when I'm all sliced up, I can keep on laughing.
That does not sound very fun.
You'll understand eventually.
Oh, by the way,
Have you seen those posters with our faces on them?
yeah, what about it?
Those peasants are still looking for us, and they're asking everyone for help. This is the perfect opportunity to unmask those traitors. I've been using myself as bait to lure them out here. Then, whenever I get the chance, I kill them.
That's actually your plan?
I'm avenging our parents. I'm not going to let those fools get away.
Why not go to the police instead?
With that huge bounty on our heads, it makes us look like the bad guys. Besides, I can handle this alone.
I stared at the ground, the weight of the people who hated us only now falling onto my shoulders. Roya, you should come live with Yokishi and me.
Sounds good to me. This place gives me the chills anyway.
I hugged my brother in relief, overjoyed that we were finally reunited. For a moment, I was able to put all my dark thoughts and worries aside. ...
So, you live in a small, dirty house with no food.
It's not that bad. Yuki's home is comfortable, and the fridge is not empty.
I thought you were living in a villa, not this rundown place. Well, what is there to eat?
Baguettes, camembert, chicken casserole.
That's not what I mean. Ugh, you really don't understand how these bodies work, do you?
We're not wealthy anymore. You should be happy to even have a roof over your head.
I'm sure we have a nice inheritance waiting for us. Speaking of which, we should look into that later.
I lightly hit Roya on the shoulder before crossing my arms.
Ah, whatever. We can build our own fortune up, right, Juju?
Before I could answer, Yokishi walked through the door with the bag of goodies. Hi, Junoru. I got off work early today. Is that Roya? How did you run into him? I haven't seen him since that day. I was taking a stroll and I ran into him earlier by coincidence. Can you stay here with us? Of course. I looked all over for him myself, but never had any luck.
It's an honor to be your guest.
A minute ago, you just said the house was dirty. Roy covered my mouth before I could finish the sentence and flashed an innocent smile at our host.
Your name is Yukishi, right? I assume you know about our identities.
That's right. I'm sorry I couldn't help you more back then. Anyway, let me show you to your room.
No, I want to stay with Juju.
My brother clung to me like a panda bear, pouting. We do not need to spend every single second together.
But we've been separated for so long. We need to spend some more time together.
Sometimes I wonder which of us is the older one. Yokishi brought us to our room and asked if we wanted anything to eat.
I ate before I came here.
Oh, that's too bad. This is very delicious. I stared on as Yokishi took a bite of her cheese bread. I was practically drooling. Are you hungry? I brought something for you too. She tossed me a bottle with dark red liquid inside, but I put it aside and shook my head with a frown. I told you that I dislike that stuff. I'd rather have bread too. My brother patted me on the shoulder and left the room after. Meanwhile, Yokishi stared at me as an awkward silence fell between us. I snatched the bread from her hands and took a bite of it. I reached for my stomach as I started coughing frantically. The pain racking my body was even worse than the last time I tried to eat. Yokishi ran to me as tears started to well up in my eyes. I dropped the bread, barely resisting the urge to hurl. Junoru, what's wrong? Nothing. My stomach just hurts a bit. I'll be fine. She let me go after I forced a smile. The next night, I could not fall asleep again, no matter how hard I tried. I hope turning into a zombie does not mean I have to stay awake forever. I'd assumed zombies were immune to pain, but I was wrong. My entire body was burning up. Is this because that bite wound got infected? I touched my arm to find that the injury was healing properly. I laid on my side when pain filled my chest, my fingers clutching the blanket as I broke out in a cold sweat. My eyes landed on the bottle Yokishi had given me earlier. The contents were tempting, but I did my best to resist. I suddenly heard footsteps in the hallway and stood up out of curiosity. I was strong enough to walk, though I felt weak. It's Roya. What's he doing? When I peeked in the hallway, I found Roya sneaking around in the dark.
Where are you going this late? Jeez, Juju, you scared me. I'm just going out for some fresh air. Don't let Yukishi know about this, okay?
I know you're lying. Tell me the truth.
I'm going to take care of more traders. If you want, you can come along. It'd be easier with the two of us.
I don't think I can be much help. He ignored my words, pulling me along anyway. The streets were frightening in the darkness. It did not help that my parents always warned us not to go outside at night, as the village was dangerous. Roy did not seem to mind in the slightest, however. I tightly clung to his arm and remained on guard, ready for anything to happen.
Relax, bro, and I'm with you. There's nothing to be scared of.
We're only children. We're not adults, and we do not have any godly powers.
We do have powers, though. We're stronger than other zombies.
Huh? How do you know that?
A few have tried to attack me over the past week, and they were completely different from us. Their bodies rot, and they can barely think. It was disgusting.
He shook his head, shivering at the recollection.
The good thing is that they're easy to deal with. Let's call them the Soulless.
That would be a fitting name, I guess.
I was also attacked by a few who were smarter, too. They weren't as smart as humans, though. Kind of animalistic. They were a bunch of idiots. Let's call them the Brainless. There was one other zombie. It disguised itself as human and attacked me when we were alone. It was a pain in the butt to deal with.
Wow, you've gone through a lot these past few days. You should call that last type the Fake, since they disguise themselves.
That's a perfect name.
See, Roya, where do we belong to?
I don't think we fit in any of the standard categories. We can call ourselves the Masters. No, wait, the Elite.
Should we not be fakes if we're disguising ourselves as humans?
Nope, you're wrong, little Juju. We have something they don't.
Roya punched a nearby pole, causing the metal to bend.
We have incredible strength, and our bodies can regenerate if we eat humans.
Do I have that power too?
Try it.
I swung my fist at the pole to no avail. There was only the pitiful sound of my bones cracking.
Whoa, it broke my hand. Why are you crying when you can't even feel any pain?
But... After a few short seconds, the scratches on my knuckles began to scab.
Whoa, that's something new.
Huh?
I think we have different powers. Looks like you have a healing ability. It's not that great at eating will heal me anyway.
Oh, it's not that great at eating will heal me anyway.
I thought you were afraid to eat humans.
Well, I can still eat normal food. It just hurts a lot.
Maybe I should try it too.
Will you be able to withstand it?
Shh, I hear someone coming. I think I saw that woman on the night our house was attacked. Pretend we're lost, okay?
I whispered in the affirmative, and we patiently waited for the woman to approach us. What are you boys doing out here in the middle of the night? I cannot find Mommy or Daddy.
We're lost. Can't you help us, miss?
Of course, my dear. Let's go to my house so we can call your parents. I'll give you some milk and cookies while you wait for them. The woman took us both by the hand and gave a friendly smile. We entered a small, cozy home and were led into the living room. Roya and I were still putting on our innocent facade. Wait right here. I'm going to get those treats for you. When the woman was out of sight, I sighed in relief. This is what you've been doing this entire time? Letting strangers lure you into their homes?
Sometimes. Others, I'm kidnapped straight off the street.
Brother.
Don't worry about me. I actually think it's pretty fun to give these peasants their desserts.
The woman returned with a disappointed expression, although she maintained her aura of friendliness. Sorry, boys. There was no milk and cookies left, but I brought you something else instead. She slowly walked closer before suddenly grabbing Roya by the arm and injecting him with some sort of needle.
Tss, tss. Poison won't work on me.
Are you sure about that, Roya Kenriji?
Don't tell me you're one of the researchers.
The woman removed her long wig and Roya's eyes widened in shock.
You were the one who saved me at the mansion.
Even if their masterminds were dead, I'm glad I still have the two test subjects to work with.
We need to get out of here. She knows too much about us.
However, before Roya could take a step, he collapsed onto the floor. Oh, the drug finally took effect. Sweet dreams, Roya Kenriji. Roya, what happened? Wake up! Don't waste your breath. I developed this drug especially for you monsters, so you won't wake up anytime soon. The woman walked towards me with a menacing smirk. I tried to pull Roya's body along, but before I could get anywhere, I was caught. This is so sad! I shivered at the sight of the laboratory-like room we were brought to. What are you going to do to us? I'm not going to kill you if that's what you're worried about. This is worse, I'm gonna test things on you. She left Roya on the couch before binding me to the examination table. I might not have gotten my hands on the serum, but having test subjects who've used it is even better. We're only children, not human ones, so I don't care.
Damn.
I started to wonder what sort of people were interested in the immortality serum and if they were all as sick and twisted as her. The woman laughed and walked towards me with a scalpel in hand, humming an unfamiliar melody as she rolled up my sleeve. From the greed gleaming in her eyes, I knew she would not hold back. I have to wonder why you look so normal compared to these other pieces of rotten meat. I can't wait to find out what the secret ingredient is and how your body can endure. The scalpel pierced through my arm and dug in wildly, no method to the madness. In my panic, I begged for the woman to stop. To my surprise, she obliged, taking only a moment to study the wound. My, it healed so fast. I've never seen this before. I thought you could only heal up after eating humans. She resumed stabbing at me, sheer excitement shimmering in her eyes. Despite not feeling any pain, the experience was nonetheless horrible. Stop it already, I don't like this. Oh, you've stopped healing. It seems like there's a limit. She put the bloody scalpel away and walked over to grab another tool. I was relieved that I had a moment to breathe, even though my arm was shredded to pieces. Ugh, I can't believe I can survive with my body in this state. It's nice to know that I have a special ability, but if there truly is a limit... Oh god, she got an axe. My wrists were bloody from struggling to escape by the time the woman returned with an axe. I wonder if your limbs all grow back if I detach them. I squirmed around in panic, searching for any way out of this, and noticed the keys to the restraints on a nearby table. If only I could reach them. As if granting my wish, the keys suddenly moved on their own, floating towards me and then freeing me. As the woman moved in closer to tighten my arm restraints, I kicked the weapon out of her hand. When the axe landed on the ground, it started moving on its own and began hacking away at her from the feet down. I closed my eyes, shutting out the sight of the bloodbath. When the screams and cries faded away, I cautiously peeked through the gaps in my fingers. There was blood all over the floor and walls. After a few seconds, the axe finally stopped moving, returning to a lifeless object. What did I do? Do objects move at my will? Either way, we need to get out of here. I slowly crawled off the table to search for something to bandage my arm with. I certainly did not want to walk around in public with it visible. I tried to use my newfound ability to bandage myself, but it did not work out very well. Next, I tried to use it to open the cabinet door. Instead, however, I was simply pulled towards it. I suppose I need more training. I do not think I can manipulate things that are heavier than myself. Oh, right, Roya! I hurried over to my brother and inspected him. Thankfully, he only seemed to be unconscious. I was so worried. With Roya on my back, I headed back to Yokishi's house, praying she did not notice that we'd ever left. But how will I explain Roya's condition, or my own for that matter? I immediately noticed the doors and windows had all been damaged, as if there was a break-in. She was not in her bedroom, so I continued looking until I found her at the other end of the house. I called out to her, and she slowly turned around. However, she had a large, profusely bleeding bite wound. Nearby, there was a childlike zombie who I presumed was the culprit. Uh-oh. I laid Roya down on the floor before dashing towards the enemy and knocking them onto the ground. Thank you for saving me, Junoru. I tried to hold them off, but I mistook that child for you and let my guard down. I'm sorry that I left. This is all my fault. Why do you look so sad? You're bleeding very badly. What are you saying? This is nothing. Yokishi gently wiped away my tears and smiled. Can I ask a favor? Of course, anything. Can you put me out of my misery? I believe after being bitten by one, I'll also become one of those mindless zombies when I die. Please, prevent that from happening, Junoru. I'm sorry for putting such a heavy burden on you. No matter what happens, don't cry. Promise me. She took a lighter out of her pocket and pointed at a nearby bottle. Empty that over by my jacket and then light it with this. I nodded, trembling as I firmly held Yokishi's hand. She closed her eyes and her body became heavy in my arms. If this is her last wish, it's the least I can do. My eyes were damp and my hands were trembling, but I held the lighter firmly as I draped the coat over the corpse. A smoky scent filled the room as the liquid burst into flames. I fell back in surprise. Hungry. In my daze, the zombie child I had knocked down before had stood up and was staring at me with hungry eyes. Before them, I noticed even more zombies creeping through the hallway. I suddenly realized this was no time to mourn. I grabbed Roya once more and dashed out of the house, heading towards the mansion, since it was the only other place I could think of. This was the first time I was ever truly alone. There was no one to look after me, and I felt lonely. Aw, poor Junoru. What should I do now, Roya? Wait until people come to hunt me? Or should I go after them first, like you did? I'm not as strong as you, though. I laid Roya on one of the beds and curled up next to him. I could not even tell if he was asleep or dead, because he never even had a pulse. Before I knew it, the sun had risen. It was already daytime. Over the next few days, I cleaned up the mansion. I had always disliked messiness, but more than that, I could not stand the reminders of what had taken place here. It took a few weeks for me to get things to a satisfactory level, but Roya still had not awoken. Over the course of tidying up, I found a few dollars that I planned to use to buy food, and I was thankful that not all of our clothing had been stolen in the disaster. Wearing an oversized coat I found in my father's room, I snuck into the village to go shopping. When I returned, I found Roya sitting up on the bed. I ran over to him with open arms.
Isn't that Dad's coat?
I'm so glad you're awake. I missed you so much.
Was I asleep for that long?
It's been a few weeks. That crazy woman drugged you, remember?
Ah, right. Man, I'm so thirsty. Do you have any water?
Yes, take this.
Thanks, little bro. Anyway, tell me what happened while I was out.
I recounted how I managed to escape and what had happened to Yokishi.
That's too bad. That lady seemed nice. She was probably one of the only people actually on our side.
We should start looking for allies.
Can you think of anyone? Yeah, there are none. We just need to focus on taking down our enemies. Hey, can I have a piece of that cake? I'm starving right now.
Are you sure you can handle it?
What are you talking about? Tasty. You sure know how to bake them.
I kept an eye on Roya as he ate, but there did not seem to be any problems. Once he finished the slice, he reached for another one.
Ah!
His face abruptly contorted with pain, and he fell backwards onto the mattress.
It hurts so much.
That's part of the healing process. I experienced the same thing. Please bear with it.
It feels like I'm being torn apart from the inside. I need to...
My brother fell off the bed and tried to crawl back up, so I tried to help him.
I need to get it out of my stomach. Help me, Juju.
I frantically peered around but could not think of anything. In those few seconds, Roya passed out on the floor. Many thoughts crossed my mind, but one that stuck with me was the memory of Dad's study. I left the room and headed to the library in the basement. I searched through Dad's desk and took any documents I could find. I could not understand the contents, but perhaps Roya could. Once I returned, I found Roya awake. He looked better compared to before.
Where did you go?
The study. I wanted to see if there's something that could help you there, but I only found these research papers. If you're already feeling better, maybe we can read them together.
No need. I've already figured the research out. Father liked to take his work with him, you know? Sometimes I'd help him organize his papers.
Roya shared everything he knew. Apparently the village had been struck by a strange illness. The citizens believed it was because a demon had cursed them all, but our parents had not lost hope. They researched the illness. When they discovered a zombie, they captured it and used its unique chemical composition to manufacture a cure for the village's illness. They had gotten the idea when they heard the zombie had been affected by the sickness when they were alive. During their research, they accidentally created a serum that could stop the aging process. They thought they were on the right track, so they tried to perfect it, but it went nowhere. They abandoned the project and started over. However, some of the team wanted to continue the research. Mother and father refused to leave the project in those people's hands and fired them. It was after that incident, the rumors about our family began to spread amongst the villagers. Of course, there were still many who supported what they were doing, especially the ill. Roya suddenly stopped talking, watching me as I took a bite of my sandwich.
How can you stand eating normal food? I thought I was gonna die until I threw that cake up.
You could take a little pain, can you not?
Ugh, a little pain might bite. It made my injuries worse.
We drank the same serum.
Why are we so different?
Maybe it's because you drank 2 bottles instead of 1. I remember hearing that different doses of medicine can result in different outcomes.
Oh, that might be it.
Why did you even drink 2 to begin with?
It was an emergency. Why did you drink yours?
For the same reason.
You hypocrite.
What are we going to do now? The villagers will not forget about us anytime soon.
We'll kill off anyone who's betrayed us.
Can we not end this peacefully by telling them the truth? Roya let out a heavy sigh as he rubbed his face exasperatedly.
How can you be so naive after everything we've experienced?
There should be another way.
No, there isn't. If you aren't going to help me, I'll do it alone.
I'll stop you.
Are you kidding? You aren't even half as strong as I am.
I focused my attention on the pillow behind Roya and it started to move like I wanted it to. When it collided with Roya's back, he yelped and jumped up.
What the heck? Using telekinesis against me, huh? I'll get you back for this.
Oh god! I panicked when Roya reached out towards me. Before I knew what was happening, I flew up to the ceiling and was left staring down at my brother.
I didn't even touch you. Since when can you fly?
I'm not. This is... Ah! I began falling, but Roya caught me before I hit the ground. With one arm, he helped me stand upright. Tears gathered around my eyes as I gasped for air.
You could stick yourself to stuff, huh? What a dumb power.
It'll be very useful when I have more control over it.
Which reminds me, you should get used to your new body. Even though you don't feel pain, you should still be aware of your surroundings. If you aren't, you'll get stabbed and never even notice it.
I'll take care of myself. A decade passed by. Somehow we were able to hide any signs of our presence within the mansion and our identities. Around the time our wanted posters disappeared from the streets, rumors of the cursed Kenriji family began spreading. I took a sip from my tea while I browsed the newspaper. A report about a local kidnapping caught my eye.
Juju, are you wearing Mom's earring?
Yes, I found it while I was cleaning her room earlier.
It actually suits you. Heh.
Seeing you act kindly is rather frightening.
I'm just in a good mood. Can I be happy once in a while?
Tell me what you're up to. Roya stole the newspaper from my hands and pointed at the article I'd just been looking at. I instantly frowned.
I think this guy used to be the leader of Dad's research team, meaning this guy should have a list with all the other team members' names.
Roya, it's been a decade. We should forgive.
Look how those people turned out. This one became a kidnapper, and then there's the woman who drugged me, and...
I grabbed the newspaper back from Roya and flipped it to the next page. I'm tired of revenge. We should have already dealt with the worst people. I'm much more worried about the fact that the zombies have multiplied because of their experiments. My brother lowered his head, his hands trembling. Then, suddenly, he grabbed me by the collar.
Did you forget about what they did to us? They betrayed our parents, killed them, and tried to do the same to us. Don't tell me you've forgiven them.
I suddenly met Roya's gaze. I knew how he felt. The fire within him had only grown stronger since that day. When I placed my hand on top of his, he let me go. I'm sorry.
I know this isn't your fault. It's just I'm doing this for your sake, too. As long as those people are around, we aren't safe.
Roya ruffled his own hair in frustration before heading down the hall, leaving me alone once more. I took another sip of my tea, but it tasted salty. I brushed my cheek and felt the dampness of a teardrop. I had not even realized I was crying. My chest began to ache. Even though I could not feel physical pain, it still hurt. My brother had not been at the scene when Mother and Father were killed. He did not know how they had died, and I knew telling him would only further fuel his anger. Jace, I hope you told me the truth. I pray Mother is resting peacefully in heaven. Father, I wonder how you're doing. I've heard awful stories about hell. Even if you cannot be together in death, I hope you can find peace in knowing your graves are together. I miss you all so much. I closed my eyes and fell into a dreamless slumber. And that, I think, is where we're going to end it for today. So we are going to finish this up next time. Thanks for joining me today, guys, for this episode of Dark Nights. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope my Jace voice and my Roya voice don't sound too similar, but I only can do so many voices. So, and there's a lot of characters in this game, so we're doing the best we can. But anyways, that's going to be it for today for Dark Nights. So thanks for joining me. You guys can catch me next week on Sunday. This upcoming Sunday. We're going to be reading Homestuck and playing Pokemon Fusion with my lovely husband, Gob the Goblin. So you can catch us doing that on Sunday. And Tuesday, we're playing Fable. So if you guys want to come and hang out with me for some RPG time on Fable, you can catch me on Tuesday for that. That'll be really fun. Wednesday is more Homestuck and Pokemon Fusion, and Thursday is Deponia. And then I'll see you back next week for more Dark Nights. And we'll finish this off, and we'll try to round it out and see what we can do. I think there's probably not much left of this chapter. I'm hoping that there's a little bit of a resolution after this, once we finish the flashback, which I think we're pretty close to doing. So hopefully it won't be another session of things ending up ending pretty quickly, and then we're kind of left with nothing to do. So I will try to pace that out, so hopefully that will go out better. But anyways, if you guys are interested in anything else we're doing this week, you can check the schedule tab on the Twitch page, twitch.tv/princessevillan. Go to schedule and it will show you everything we're doing this week, including if we're doing D&D this week, which we are not, so don't come over on tomorrow. But the week after that, so next week, we will be doing D&D, so you guys are welcome to join us for that. That's going to be really fun. It's been a while since we've done D&D. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say. I'm kind of like wrapped up in the story right now, so, I'm just so interested in what's going on with Junoru and Jace and Blace. And Jace and Blace are getting a lot more screen time than I thought they would. I thought we'd see the last of them in the last route, but we're getting more of them, which is very interesting. We're getting more of their backstory as well, which is also very interesting. So, but anyways, yeah, catch me on Sunday, catch me on Tuesday next week. Go to the schedule tab, check all that stuff out. Go to the Discord page. Go on to Twitch, go to About Me, all the way down to the Discord button, hit that, it'll take you straight to Discord. You can join like-minded people who like watching the stream and hanging out with me. You can hang out with me personally, and we do community events on the Discord channel, or at least we'll be starting to. And if you have an idea for stream, or if you have an idea for a game that you want us to play, like a visual novel, or if you have an idea for a TTRPG you want us to play on Saturday, you can leave a comment on the Discord and I will get back to it. And we'll see what we can do about that. But yeah. Otherwise, go to the VOD channel if you're looking for the first parts of Dark Knights. The first route that we played through was the Karada route. You can catch that all on the VOD channel, as well as the first parts to a lot of games that we're playing this week, including Deponia and Homestuck, and the first episode of Fable will be coming out very soon, I think, so keep your eyes out on that. And yeah, you can also catch the previous D&D streams as well, so you can get caught up on D&D before we start on Saturday next week. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. And yeah. Bye, everybody. Bye.